the kingdom of the Whispering Winds. Once upon a time, in a land far away, there was a kingdom known as Etheria. This kingdom was unlike any other, for it floated high above the clouds, suspended in the sky by the magic of the Whispering Winds. The Whispering Winds were not ordinary breezes, they were sentient, speaking in soft tones and carrying messages across the land. The people of Etheria lived in harmony with these winds, relying on their guidance and protection. In this kingdom lived a young prince named Zephyr. Zephyr was known for his adventurous spirit and his deep connection with the Whispering Winds. He could often be found at the highest point of the kingdom, listening to the winds as they shared tales of distant lands and ancient secrets. Though he loved his home, Zephyr longed to explore the world below the clouds, a place he had only heard of in stories. One day, while Zephyr was listening to the winds, they brought him troubling news. "The winds that hold Etheria in the sky are weakening," they whispered. "A dark force is trying to break the bond between the kingdom and the winds. If nothing is done, Etheria will fall." Alarmed, Zephyr knew he had to act quickly. He went to his father, King Aeolus, and told him what the winds had said. The king, a wise and just ruler, understood the gravity of the situation. "We must protect our kingdom, my son," King Aeolus said. "But to do so, we need the Crystal of Gale, an ancient artifact that has the power to strengthen the Whispering Winds. It is hidden in the Cave of Echoes, far below, on the earth." Zephyr volunteered immediately. "I will go, father. I will find the Crystal of Gale and save our kingdom." The king, though worried, trusted his son's courage and wisdom. He gave Zephyr a small, enchanted amulet shaped like a feather. "This will protect you on your journey. Remember, the winds will always guide you." Zephyr set out on his quest, riding a swift cloud ship that descended from Etheria towards the earth below. The journey was perilous, with dark clouds and fierce storms trying to hinder his progress. But Zephyr kept the amulet close, and the Whispering Winds whispered encouragement in his ear, guiding him safely through the tempest. After days of travel, Zephyr reached the earth, a place that felt both strange and wondrous to him. He landed in a dense forest where the trees whispered in the breeze, their leaves shimmering like silver. Following the wind's guidance, Zephyr made his way to the Cave of Echoes. The entrance to the cave was hidden behind a waterfall, its waters sparkling in the sunlight. Zephyr took a deep breath and stepped through the waterfall, finding himself in a vast cavern where every sound echoed endlessly. The air was thick with magic, and Zephyr could feel the presence of the Crystal of Gale deep within the cave. As he ventured deeper, Zephyr encountered the cave's guardian, a giant eagle with feathers of pure gold and eyes that gleamed like amber. The eagle spread its wings, blocking Zephyr's path. "Who dares enter the Cave of Echoes?" the eagle demanded, its voice reverberating through the cavern. "I am Prince Zephyr of Etheria," Zephyr replied, standing tall. "I seek the Crystal of Gale to save my kingdom from falling." The eagle studied Zephyr for a moment before speaking. "The Crystal of Gale is powerful, but it can only be taken by one who is pure of heart and truly cares for their people. To prove your worth, you must answer this riddle. What can you hold in your right hand but not in your left?" Zephyr thought for a moment, then smiled and answered, "My left hand." The eagle nodded in approval, and with a mighty flap of its wings, it revealed a hidden chamber within the cave. In the center of the chamber, on a pedestal of stone, sat the Crystal of Gale. The crystal was a brilliant blue, glowing with an inner light that pulsed gently like a heartbeat. Zephyr approached the crystal, and as he touched it, he felt a surge of energy and warmth. The Whispering Winds swirled around him, their voices full of joy. "You have found it, Zephyr. The Crystal of Gale will save Etheria." With the crystal in hand, Zephyr hurried back to his cloud ship and ascended once more into the sky. The journey back was just as challenging, but Zephyr's determination and the crystal's power helped him overcome every obstacle. When he finally returned to Etheria, the kingdom was on the brink of collapse, teetering on the edge of the sky. Zephyr rushed to the highest point in the kingdom, where a great stone circle known as the Circle of Wind stood. Placing the Crystal of Gale in the center of the circle, Zephyr watched as the crystal began to glow brighter and brighter. The Whispering Winds gathered around it, their strength restored. the winds lifted Etheria higher into the sky, stabilizing the kingdom and banishing the dark force that had threatened it. The people of Etheria rejoiced, and King Aeolus embraced his son, proud of his bravery and love for his home. From that day on, the Crystal of Gale was kept in the Circle of Winds, a symbol of the bond between the kingdom and the Whispering Winds. Prince Zephyr continued to explore the skies, always listening to the winds and protecting his kingdom. And so, Etheria flourished, floating high above the clouds, forever safe in the embrace of the Whispering Winds. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in the heart of the evergreen forest, there was a hidden village called Harmony Hollow. This village was renowned for its beautiful music, thanks to a magical harp that resided in the village square. The harp was said to have been crafted by the fairies themselves, and its music could soothe even the wildest of beasts and bring peace to the most troubled souls. The keeper of the harp was an elderly woman named Eloan. She had lived in Harmony Hollow for as long as anyone could remember and had a special bond with the harp. Every evening, she would play enchanting melodies that drifted through the forest, spreading calm and joy to all who heard it. One winter, a great storm swept through the land. The winds howled, the snow piled high, and the forest grew dark and foreboding. As the storm raged on, a dark shadow fell over Harmony Hollow, and the magical harp strings went silent. Eloan tried to play, but the harp refused to sing. The villagers grew anxious and disheartened, fearing that the magic of their beloved harp had been lost forever. One young girl, Lyra, who loved the harp more than anything, decided she must find out what had happened. She believed that the harp's silence was a sign of a greater problem and that she needed to help restore its magic. With a heart full of courage and hope, Lyra set out on a quest to discover the truth behind the harp's silence. Lyra journeyed deep into the forest, guided by the faint echoes of the harp's last song. As she walked, she encountered various creatures, squirrels, owls, and even a wise old deer, each of whom offered clues and advice. They all pointed her toward the Crystal Cavern, a mystical place rumored to hold ancient secrets and great power. The path to the Crystal Cavern was treacherous, with icy winds and towering snowdrifts. But Lyra pressed on, determined to help her village and the harp she cherished. After a long and arduous journey, she finally reached the entrance of the cavern. Inside, the cavern sparkled with crystals of every color, reflecting the faint light from Lyra's lantern. At the heart of the cavern, she discovered a grand, ancient tree with branches that glistened like diamonds. Beneath the tree lay a slumbering, silver dragon, its scales shimmering with a soft, ethereal light. The dragon awoke as Lyra approached, its eyes filled with both wisdom and sorrow. "Welcome, brave Lyra," the dragon said in a deep, melodic voice. "I am Draconis, the guardian of the Crystal Cavern. I have been waiting for someone with a pure heart to help restore balance to the forest." Lyra explained the plight of Harmony Hollow and the silence of the magical harp. Draconis listened intently and then spoke. "The storm that has befallen your village is the result of a curse placed upon the harp by a jealous sorcerer who sought to steal its magic. To break the curse, you must retrieve 3 magical items from the cavern." Draconis guided Lyra to 3 hidden locations within the cavern. 1. The luminous blossom *, a glowing flower that could only be found in the deepest part of the cavern. Lyra discovered it growing amidst a bed of shimmering stones, its petals radiating a soft, healing light. 2. The echoing shell *, a conch shell that held the power to amplify and restore lost magic. It was nestled among the crystal formations, its surface gleaming with a silvery sheen. 3. The eternal flame *, a small, enchanted flame that never extinguished. It was housed within a delicate crystal vial, glowing with an inner fire. With the 3 items in hand, Lyra returned to Harmony Hollow. The storm had worsened, and the village was on the brink of despair. But Lyra was determined to restore the harp's magic. She approached the silent harp with the luminous blossom, the echoing shell, and the eternal flame. As Lyra placed the items near the harp, the flower's glow began to merge with the harp's frame, the shell amplified the whispers of magic, and the flame sparked a renewed light within the harp strings. The harp trembled and then sang a powerful, melodious tune that filled the village with warmth and hope. The storm began to dissipate, and the clouds parted to reveal the sun. The villagers emerged from their homes, their faces lighting up with joy and relief as the harp's music filled the air once more. They gathered around Lyra, thanking her for her bravery and the restoration of their beloved harp. Eloan, moved by Lyra's courage, praised her as the true hero of Harmony Hollow. The harp resumed its role as the heart of the village, its music now more magical and enchanting than ever. The village thrived, and Lyra became a symbol of hope and perseverance. Once upon a time, in a serene kingdom surrounded by rolling hills and sparkling lakes, there was a quaint village known as Luminera. Luminera was famous for its beautiful, moonlit nights and its enchanting melodies that seemed to drift through the air every evening. The villagers believed that these melodies were a gift from the moon itself, meant to bring peace and joy to all who heard them. In this village lived a young girl named Lyra, who had a special gift. She could play any instrument she touched with a magical touch that made the music truly mesmerizing. Despite her talent, Lyra was shy and rarely performed publicly. She spent her evenings under the old willow tree at the edge of the village, playing soft, soothing tunes to herself. One evening, as the full moon cast its silvery light over Luminera, Lyra noticed something strange. The melodies that usually filled the air were missing, replaced by an eerie silence. The moon itself seemed dimmer than usual. Concerned, Lyra decided to investigate and discovered that the village's beloved moonstone, a mystical gem said to enhance the moon's magic, had disappeared from its place atop the village's ancient tower. Determined to restore the village's melodies and the moon's light, Lyra set out on a journey to find the moonstone. The villagers had always spoken of a hidden grove deep in the enchanted forest, where magical creatures lived and secrets were kept. Lyra believed that if anyone knew about the missing moonstone, it would be the inhabitants of this mysterious grove. As she ventured into the forest, Lyra encountered several magical beings, a wise old fox, a playful squirrel, and a gentle deer. Each creature gave her a clue to guide her way. The fox advised her to follow the light of the moon's reflection on the river. The squirrel suggested listening to the whispers of the trees, and the deer pointed her towards a hidden path marked by moonflowers. Following these clues, Lyra arrived at the hidden grove, which was bathed in a soft, ethereal glow. In the center of the grove stood a grand, ancient tree with branches stretching towards the sky. At the base of the tree, Lyra found the moonstone, but it was surrounded by a shimmering barrier of light. To retrieve the moonstone, Lyra realized she needed to play a melody that resonated with the moon's magic. She took out her lute and began to play a soft, enchanting tune. As the music flowed from her fingers, the barrier began to shimmer and dance in harmony with the melody. The light surrounding the moonstone grew brighter, and the stone itself began to float towards Lyra. When the moonstone was finally in her hands, a radiant glow filled the grove, and the moonlight became brighter and more beautiful than ever before. The moonstone's magic enhanced Lyra's music, and the melodies that once filled Luminera returned, more enchanting than ever. With the moonstone safely returned to its place atop the village's tower, the village of Luminera celebrated. The moonlit nights were even more magical, and the melodies played by Lyra resonated throughout the kingdom, bringing peace and joy to everyone who heard them. Lyra, once shy and reserved, found her confidence in sharing her music with the world. Her melodies became a symbol of hope and harmony, and she continued to play under the moonlit sky, creating music that touched the hearts of all who listened. And so, the tale of Lyra and the moonlit melody became a cherished story in Luminera, a reminder of the magic that lies in each of us and the power of sharing our gifts with the world. Once upon a time, in a realm where seasons changed like the pages of a book, there was a hidden kingdom known as Verdantia. Verdantia was unique because it experienced eternal spring. The land was always lush and blooming, with flowers of every color carpeting the ground and trees heavy with fruit. The kingdom's ruler, Queen Eloan, had a special gift. She could control the seasons, ensuring that Verdantia stayed in a perpetual state of spring. The kingdom thrived under Queen Eloan's care, and its people were content and happy. However, there was one thing Queen Eloan wished for more than anything else: to see the world beyond Verdantia. She had heard tales of lands where the seasons changed and was curious to experience them for herself. One day, as she gazed out over her flourishing kingdom, she noticed something unusual: a withered, leafless tree at the edge of the enchanted forest, which was known to be Eternal Spring's heart. It seemed out of place in the otherwise vibrant landscape. Intrigued, she decided to investigate. The heart of the enchanted forest, accompanied by her loyal advisor, Sir Cedric, Queen Aloan, ventured into the enchanted forest. The deeper they went, the more the forest seemed to shift and change, its magic responding to their presence. They finally reached the withered tree, which stood alone in a small clearing. Its bark was cracked, and its branches were bare. As Queen Aloan approached, the tree began to speak in a faint, whispering voice. "I am the keeper of seasons," it said. "Long ago, I balanced the flow of time and seasons across the land. But now, I am weak and fading. The balance is disrupted, and without my strength, Verdantia's spring will eventually wither away." Queen Aloan listened carefully as the tree explained that it needed a special artifact, the Sunstone, to restore its power and balance the seasons once more. The Sunstone was said to be hidden in the Winterlands, a far-off land where snow and ice reigned. The journey to the Winterlands determined to save her kingdom, Queen Aloan set out on a journey to find the Sunstone. She and Sir Cedric traveled through mountains, across vast deserts, and finally reached the borders of the Winterlands. Here, the world was covered in snow and ice, a stark contrast to Verdantia's eternal spring. They ventured into the Winterlands and encountered many challenges: treacherous ice caves, blinding snowstorms, and the cold-hearted Frost King, who ruled the land. The Frost King was initially reluctant to help but was eventually moved by Queen Aloan's dedication to her people. The Frost King's test: to obtain the Sunstone, Queen Aloan had to pass the Frost King's test. He presented her with a series of trials designed to test her courage, wisdom, and kindness. Each trial was more difficult than the last, but with Sir Cedric's help and her own inner strength, Queen Aloan succeeded in every challenge. The final trial was to find a hidden crystal heart buried deep within a frozen lake. The heart was guarded by a fearsome ice dragon. Queen Aloan approached the dragon with respect and kindness, explaining her mission and her love for her kingdom. The ice dragon, moved by her sincerity, allowed her to retrieve the crystal heart. It was revealed that the heart was connected to the Sunstone, which the Frost King presented to her as a reward. Restoring the balance with the Sunstone in hand, Queen Aloan and Sir Cedric returned to Verdantia. They journeyed back through the enchanted forest and to the withered tree. As they placed the Sunstone at the base of the tree, its magic surged, and the once barren branches began to bloom with vibrant leaves and flowers. The enchanted forest was restored to its full glory, and the tree's strength was renewed. Queen Aloan realized that the balance of the seasons was important not only for the world but also for the growth and change that made life beautiful. A new understanding with the restoration of the tree's magic, Queen Aloan felt a deep sense of fulfillment. She had gained a new appreciation for the changing seasons and the beauty they brought to the world. Although Verdantia remained in spring, she now understood the value of each season's unique gifts. The kingdom celebrated the return of balance and harmony, and Queen Aloan shared stories of her journey with her people. Verdantia flourished even more, and its people learned to appreciate the beauty of all seasons. Queen Aloan's adventure had taught her that true wisdom comes from understanding and embracing the world's diversity. And so, Verdantia thrived with a renewed sense of wonder and appreciation for the magic that bound their eternal spring to the changing world beyond. The end. In a lush, enchanted forest known as Elderwood, there stood a mighty oak tree whose branches seemed to touch the sky. This oak, known as Elder Tree, was ancient and wise, and it was said that within its sprawling branches was a secret that could change the fate of anyone who discovered it. Among the villagers who lived near Elderwood was a young girl named Avelini. Avelini was known for her curiosity and her love for nature. She often ventured into the forest to explore its wonders, but the elder tree had always eluded her. The tree's enormous size and tangled branches made it seem almost magical and mysterious. One crisp autumn day, Avelini set out on a new adventure. She hoped that the golden leaves of the season might reveal something special. She walked deeper into the forest than ever before, guided by the vibrant colors and the soft rustle of leaves underfoot. As she wandered, she came across a small, hidden glen bathed in golden light. In the center of the glen was a single, shimmering acorn lying atop a bed of moss. The acorn glowed with a warm, golden hue, and Avellini felt a strange sense of wonder and excitement. A voice, soft and soothing, spoke from above. "That acorn is no ordinary one. It holds the magic of the elder tree and the power to fulfill a wish." Avellini looked up to see a graceful, silver-haired fairy hovering above her. The fairy introduced herself as Leora, the guardian of the elder tree. "This acorn is a gift for those who show a pure heart and seek to help others," Leora explained. "But to unlock its magic, you must perform 3 tasks that test your bravery, wisdom, and kindness." Avellini nodded eagerly, ready to accept the challenge. Leora smiled and vanished in a sparkle of light, leaving Avellini alone with the golden acorn. The first task was to prove her bravery. Leora's voice echoed in Avellini's mind, guiding her to a part of the forest where a great storm had recently struck. Trees were uprooted, and the path was blocked. Avellini noticed a family of woodland creatures trapped by fallen branches. Without hesitation, Avellini used her strength and determination to clear the debris and help the animals to safety. Her bravery in the face of adversity was rewarded with the creatures' grateful cheers and the sight of the forest slowly recovering from the storm. The second task required wisdom. Avellini was guided to a mystical stream with waters as clear as crystal. The stream was known for its riddles, which had stumped many before her. Avellini encountered a wise old turtle who guarded the stream and posed a riddle: "I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?" Avellini pondered the riddle carefully. After a moment's thought, she replied, "A map." The old turtle nodded in approval, and the stream's waters sparkled brighter, revealing a hidden path that led to her final task. The last task was to demonstrate kindness. Avellini followed the path to a clearing where a small, wounded deer lay. The deer's leg was injured, and it was in great pain. Avellini gently approached the deer and used her knowledge of herbs and healing to tend to its wound. She sang a soft lullaby to soothe the frightened animal. As she worked, the deer's pain eased, and it looked up at her with grateful eyes. The deer's family, who had been watching from the shadows, emerged and expressed their thanks. Avellini's kindness and compassion had touched their hearts. With the 3 tasks completed, Leora reappeared and guided Avellini back to the golden acorn. The fairy's eyes shone with pride. "You have shown bravery, wisdom, and kindness. The magic of the elder tree is now yours to command." Avellini held the golden acorn in her hands, and it began to glow even brighter. She made a wish for the forest to flourish and for all its creatures to live in harmony. The acorn's light grew, and the forest around her seemed to come alive with renewed vitality. The trees stood taller, the flowers bloomed more brightly, and the animals thrived in their rejuvenated home. The magic of the elder tree had spread throughout Elderwood, transforming it into a place of unparalleled beauty and peace. Avellini returned to her village with a heart full of joy, knowing that her wish had made a difference. She shared her adventure with the villagers, inspiring them to care for the forest and all its inhabitants. The legend of the golden acorn and Avellini's bravery, wisdom, and kindness became a cherished tale in Elderwood. The forest thrived under the care of its people, and the elder tree stood as a symbol of the magic that could be found in a pure heart. And so, the story of the golden acorn lived on, reminding everyone that the greatest magic comes from within and that even the smallest act of kindness can create a world of wonder. In the heart of a quaint, timeless village surrounded by rolling hills and misty forests, there was a small, charming clock shop known as the Enchanted Timepiece. The shop was run by an elderly clockmaker named Master Horace, whose reputation for creating magnificent clocks was known far and wide. Each clock he crafted had a touch of magic, ensuring that time seemed to flow just a little more smoothly around them. Master Horace had an apprentice named Theo, a bright and eager young man with a deep fascination for clockwork and a boundless curiosity. Theo admired Master Horace immensely and spent his days learning the intricate art of clockmaking. He was especially drawn to an old, mysterious clock in the shop's backroom, covered in dust and forgotten for years. It was an elaborate grandfather clock with intricate carvings of stars and moons and a peculiar inscription on its face: "When the moon's light dances, a secret shall be unveiled." One evening, as the full moon cast its silvery glow over the village, Master Horace entrusted Theo with a special task. "Tonight is the night of the moon's dance," Master Horace said, his eyes twinkling with a hint of mischief. "I need you to prepare the shop for the festival, but remember, the grandfather clock in the back room is special. Its magic can only be awakened during the moon's dance. Pay attention to the moonlight." Theo eagerly agreed, and as the moonlight poured into the shop, he busied himself with preparations. When he finished, he couldn't resist the temptation to examine the old grandfather clock more closely. As the moonlight streamed through the shop's windows, it illuminated the clock's carvings in a mesmerizing dance of light and shadow. Theo noticed something extraordinary. The moonlight seemed to weave patterns on the clock's surface, making the stars and moons appear to shimmer and shift. Curiosity piqued, Theo carefully adjusted the clock's hands to match the phases of the moon, as indicated on the inscription. As the moonlight reached its peak, the clock's face began to glow softly. Theo's heart raced with excitement as he heard a faint, melodious chime emanate from the clock. He watched in awe as the clock's hands moved on their own, aligning with the intricate carvings, and a hidden compartment slowly revealed itself. Inside the compartment was a delicate silver key and a scroll tied with a golden ribbon. Theo unrolled the scroll, which read, "To find the heart of the clock, seek the moon's reflection where shadows lie. The key shall guide you to where secrets hide." Following the scroll's instructions, Theo carried the silver key and ventured outside into the moonlit night. He walked to the edge of the village, where a small, ancient stone bridge spanned a gentle stream. The moon's reflection danced upon the water, casting delicate shadows on the bridge's surface. Theo noticed a peculiar pattern of shadows and reflections on the bridge that seemed to match the carvings on the grandfather clock. With a sense of wonder, he carefully placed the silver key into a hidden keyhole he discovered in the stone. As he turned the key, a hidden panel in the bridge opened, revealing a small, hidden chamber beneath. Inside the chamber was a beautifully crafted golden heart-shaped locket. Theo carefully lifted the locket and felt a surge of warmth and light. The locket contained a tiny, enchanted clock that seemed to beat with a gentle, rhythmic pulse. As Theo held the locket, he felt a deep sense of calm and understanding. The locket's magic was not only about time but also about the harmony between moments and memories. It was a reminder that time, though fleeting, could be cherished and savored. Theo returned to the shop with the locket and showed Master Horace. The old clockmaker's eyes widened with pride and joy. "You have unlocked the true magic of the grandfather clock," Master Horace said, his voice filled with emotion. "The locket represents the heart of time, a symbol of the beauty and harmony that time can bring to our lives." With the discovery of the locket, Theo and Master Horace crafted a special clock to commemorate the moon's dance festival, incorporating the locket's magic into its design. The clock became a cherished centerpiece of the festival, symbolizing the timeless bond between moments and memories. Theo's understanding of clockmaking deepened, and he continued to create wondrous timepieces that captured the essence of the world's beauty and magic. The village celebrated the moon's dance festival every year, honoring the enchanted clock and the apprentice who unlocked its secret. And so, the legacy of the clockmaker's apprentice lived on, reminding everyone that time, with all its mysteries and magic, could be a source of wonder and joy, and that the heart of time beat within the moments we cherished most. Once upon a time, in a charming village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, there was a magical tree known as the Whispering Willow. This ancient willow had silver leaves that shimmered in the moonlight, and it was said to possess the power to grant one heartfelt wish to anyone who truly believed in its magic. In the village lived a kind-hearted girl named Mia. Mia loved the Whispering Willow deeply and often visited it to talk about her dreams and hopes. Her greatest wish was to bring happiness to her family and friends, who had been facing hard times lately. Her father, a skilled carpenter, had fallen ill, and her mother worked tirelessly to make ends meet. One crisp autumn evening, as the golden leaves fell around her, Mia sat by the whispering willow and whispered her wish into the gentle breeze. She asked for a miracle that would restore joy and prosperity to her family and the village. The next morning, Mia awoke to find a small, intricately carved wooden box on her doorstep. The box was adorned with delicate patterns and a shimmering silver key. There was no note, but Mia sensed that it was connected to her wish. The secret of the box. Mia took the box to the whispering willow, hoping it would offer some guidance. As she approached, the tree's leaves rustled softly, and she could hear faint whispers in the breeze. The silver key seemed to glow with a soft, inviting light. Mia unlocked the box, revealing a beautifully crafted locket inside. The locket had a tiny portrait of the whispering willow etched into it and a small compartment that held a single golden seed. The locket seemed to hum with a gentle, magical energy. The whispering willow's whispers grew clearer, and Mia understood that the locket was a key to unlocking a hidden treasure that would help her village. The golden seed was the heart of this treasure, which needed to be planted in a special place. The journey to the hidden garden. The tree's whispers guided Mia to a remote part of the forest, where a hidden garden was said to be located. It was a place of legends, rumored to be enchanted and filled with mystical creatures. Mia set out with the locket, the golden seed, and her loyal dog, Jasper, by her side. They journeyed through the forest, facing various challenges along the way. They crossed a crystal-clear stream with the help of a kind-hearted water sprite, solved riddles posed by a wise old fox, and navigated through a maze of enchanted vines that seemed to change paths. After a long and arduous journey, they finally reached the hidden garden. The garden was a breathtaking sight, filled with vibrant flowers, glowing trees, and a sparkling fountain at its center. Mia found a secluded spot near the fountain, where she planted the golden seed. As soon as the seed was planted, the garden began to shimmer with a brilliant light. Flowers bloomed instantly, and the fountain's water sparkled like diamonds. The magic of the garden was undeniable, and Mia could feel a powerful, positive energy radiating from it. The miracle of the hidden garden. With the garden's magic in full bloom, Mia and Jasper returned to the village. To their amazement, the once struggling village had transformed. The crops in the fields were flourishing, the river's water was crystal clear, and the village's spirits had lifted. Mia's father recovered from his illness, and her mother's hard work became a joyful endeavor rather than a struggle. The villagers gathered to celebrate, and Mia's wish had indeed come true. The magic of the hidden garden had brought prosperity and happiness back to their lives. The whispering willow's whispers grew softer, and Mia felt a deep sense of gratitude. She knew that the real magic lay in the love and care that the villagers had for one another, and the hidden garden was a reminder of the power of hope and kindness. A lasting legacy. In the years that followed, the village of Mia flourished, and the story of the whispering willow and the hidden garden was passed down through generations. The garden remained a secret haven for those who needed inspiration and renewal, and the village thrived under its magic. Mia grew up to become a beloved storyteller, sharing the tale of the whispering willow and the hidden garden with children and visitors. Her story was a beacon of hope, teaching the value of believing in magic, kindness, and the importance of never giving up on one's dreams. And so, the village of Lumina continued to shine brightly, its people forever touched by the magic of the whispering willow and the hidden treasure that restored their joy and prosperity. The end. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, nestled between towering mountains and lush green valleys, lay the kingdom of Eldoria. This kingdom was known for its peace and prosperity, ruled by a wise and kind king named Eric. However, all was not well in Eldoria, for the kingdom was cursed by an ancient spell that made every flower in the land wither and die, leaving the once vibrant fields and gardens barren and lifeless. In the heart of Eldoria, in a quaint little village, lived a young girl named Serafina. Serafina was known for her love of nature and her unyielding optimism. Despite the curse, she tended to a small garden behind her cottage, hoping that one day, the flowers would bloom again. One evening, as the sun set behind the mountains, casting a golden glow over the land, Serafina found an old, dusty book in her attic. As she opened it, a small, delicate petal fell out. It was unlike any she had ever seen, shimmering with a soft, ethereal light. Curiosity piqued, she began to read. The book told the story of the Enchanted Garden, a magical place hidden deep within the Forbidden Forest. The garden was said to be the source of all the flowers in Eldoria, and its guardian, the Flower Queen, held the power to lift the curse. However, the path to the garden was fraught with dangers and challenges that only the pure of heart could overcome. Determined to save her kingdom, Seraphina decided to find the Enchanted Garden and seek the Flower Queen's help. Early the next morning, with the petal tucked safely in her pocket and a small satchel of provisions, she set off on her journey. The Forbidden Forest was a place of shadows and secrets, where ancient trees whispered and the air was thick with magic. As Seraphina ventured deeper, she encountered her first challenge, a raging river with no bridge in sight. As she pondered how to cross, a voice echoed through the trees. "To cross the river, you must answer my riddle," the voice said. Turning, Seraphina saw a wise old owl perched on a branch, its eyes gleaming in the dim light. "I will try," Seraphina replied, her voice steady. The owl nodded. "What has roots that nobody sees, is taller than trees, up it goes, and yet never grows." Seraphina thought for a moment and then smiled. "A mountain," she answered confidently. The owl nodded in approval and, with a wave of its wing, a bridge of vines and flowers emerged, allowing Seraphina to cross safely. She thanked the owl and continued her journey. As she walked, the forest grew darker and the path more treacherous. Soon, she reached a clearing where a beautiful unicorn lay, its leg caught in a trap. The creature struggled, but the more it fought, the tighter the trap became. Without hesitation, Seraphina approached the unicorn. "Let me help you," she said gently. Using her knowledge of herbs and healing, she tended to the unicorn's wounds and freed it from the trap. The unicorn stood gracefully and nuzzled Seraphina's hand in gratitude. "Thank you, kind one," the unicorn said. "For your compassion, I will guide you to the Enchanted Garden." With the unicorn leading the way, they soon reached the heart of the Forbidden Forest. Before them lay a magnificent garden, filled with flowers of every color and kind, each one glowing with its own light. In the center of the garden stood a majestic figure, the Flower Queen. "Welcome, Seraphina," the Flower Queen said, her voice like the gentle rustle of leaves. "You have shown great courage, wisdom, and kindness. Why have you come?" Seraphina knelt before the queen. "My kingdom is cursed, and every flower has withered and died. I seek your help to lift the curse and bring life back to Eldoria." The Flower Queen smiled warmly. "You have a pure heart, Seraphina. For your bravery and selflessness, I will grant your wish." The queen plucked a glowing flower from the garden and handed it to Seraphina. "Take this flower and plant it in the center of your village. Its magic will spread, lifting the curse and bringing life back to Eldoria." With deep gratitude, Seraphina accepted the flower and thanked the Flower Queen. The unicorn escorted her back through the forest, and soon she was on her way home. As Seraphina returned to her village, the villagers gathered around her, curious and hopeful. She planted the glowing flower in the village square, and as soon as it touched the earth, a wave of magic swept through the land. The flowers in the gardens, fields, and meadows began to bloom once more, vibrant and full of life. King Eric declared a grand celebration in honor of Seraphina's bravery. The kingdom of Eldoria flourished like never before, and Seraphina's garden became a symbol of hope and renewal. Her story was told for generations, a reminder of the power of a pure heart and the magic that lies within kindness and courage. And so, the kingdom of Eldoria lived happily ever after, their hearts forever filled with gratitude for the girl who brought their flowers back to life. In a coastal village named Seabreeze, where the ocean waves whispered tales of old, there stood a grand lighthouse on a rocky cliff. The lighthouse had guided countless sailors safely to shore with its bright, steady beam. The keeper of this lighthouse was a kind old man named Elias, who had dedicated his life to ensuring the light never went out. Elias was beloved by the villagers, who would often bring him gifts of fresh bread and stories from the sea. But there was one thing Elias cherished above all else, a mysterious, ancient compass he had inherited from his grandfather. The compass was not an ordinary one, it had a golden arrow that always pointed to the heart's deepest desire. The great storm one day, a great storm rolled in, fierce and wild. The sea roared, and the wind howled, tossing ships like toys. The villagers of Seabreeze huddled in their homes, fearful for their loved ones at sea. Elias stood at the top of the lighthouse, his heart heavy with worry. The storm raged on, and the lighthouse beam struggled to cut through the darkness. As he peered through the rain, Elias noticed that the light was dimming. The storm had damaged the lantern, and the flame was about to go out. The quest for the flame, knowing that without the light, the ships would be lost, Elias decided to make a daring journey to retrieve a special flame from the legendary Firefall Falls, a magical place said to have a never-ending flame. Elias packed a small satchel with supplies and took the ancient compass. The compass's golden arrow pointed steadfastly toward the north, guiding him through the stormy night. The challenges Elias braved the stormy sea in a sturdy boat, using his compass to navigate through the raging waters. Along his journey, he faced several challenges. 1. The rocky passage. Elias had to steer through a treacherous rocky passage where giant waves crashed against the cliffs. He used his knowledge of the sea and the compass to find the safest route. 2. The mischievous merfolk. In the midst of the storm, Elias encountered a group of mischievous merfolk who tried to lead him astray with their enchanting songs. Elias remembered the stories his grandfather had told him and sang a heartfelt song of his own, which calmed the merfolk and earned their respect. 3. The dark forest. Upon reaching the shore, Elias had to cross a dark forest where the trees whispered haunting sounds. The compass's golden arrow guided him through the forest, and he used his lantern to light the way. The Firefall Falls. After a long and arduous journey, Elias finally reached the Firefall Falls. The sight was breathtaking. Flames cascaded down the rocks like a waterfall of fire, and the air was warm and comforting. Elias carefully collected a small portion of the magical flame into a vial, ensuring it was securely contained. The return with the vial in hand, Elias made his way back to the lighthouse. The storm was still raging, but his determination was unwavering. He navigated through the rocky passage, resisted the merfolk's tricks, and crossed the dark forest. As he reached the lighthouse, he saw that the beam was nearly out. With great care, Elias added the magical flame to the lantern. The moment the flame touched the lantern, it blazed brightly, cutting through the storm's darkness like a beacon of hope. The dawn. The ships at sea, guided by the renewed light, safely found their way to shore. As the storm subsided, the villagers emerged from their homes, cheering for Elias and the safety of their loved ones. The villagers threw a grand celebration in Elias's honor. The ancient compass, which had guided him through the storm, was placed in a special spot in the lighthouse, where it continued to point toward the heart's deepest desires. The legacy from that day on, the lighthouse was known not just for its guiding light, but also for the courage and selflessness of its keeper. Elias continued to care for the lighthouse with the same dedication, and his story was told to every child in Seabreeze. And whenever the villagers faced their own storms, they would remember Elias's bravery and the magical flame that had saved their lives. The golden arrow of the ancient compass was a reminder that even in the darkest times, hope and courage could light the way. The enchanted orchard. In a valley surrounded by misty hills and rolling meadows, there was an enchanted orchard known as Whispering Grove. The orchard was famous for its magical fruits, which could grant a single wish to anyone who ate them. However, the orchard was protected by a wise and kind guardian named Eloan, an elderly woman with a heart full of magic and a deep connection to the land. Eloan had tended to the orchard for many years, nurturing the trees and ensuring that their magic was used wisely. The orchard was a place of serenity and beauty, with trees that bore glowing fruits of all colors, from shimmering gold to deep, rich blue. A young dreamer. One day, a young girl named Mira came to the valley. Mira was known for her boundless imagination and kind heart. She had heard tales of the enchanted orchard and had come with a hopeful heart and a single wish, to help her ailing village, which had been suffering from a harsh drought. As Mira wandered through the orchard, she marveled at the magical fruits hanging from the trees. her eyes were drawn to a particularly radiant fruit, a pear that seemed to glow with a soft, silvery light. She reached out to touch it, but just as her fingers brushed the pear, Aloan appeared before her. The guardian's wisdom. Aloan smiled warmly and said, "Welcome to Whispering Grove, Mira. I see you are drawn to the pear of wishes. It is the most powerful fruit of the orchard, but its magic must be used with great care." Mira explained her village's plight and her wish to bring rain to end the drought. Aloan listened thoughtfully and nodded. "Your heart is pure, and your wish is noble. I will grant you this pear, but remember, the true magic lies not just in the fruit, but in the intention behind your wish." Aloan handed Mira the pear, and as Mira held it, she could feel a gentle warmth radiating from it. She thanked Aloan and made her way back to her village, clutching the pear tightly. The journey back to the village was long and arduous. Mira faced many challenges along the way, from steep hills to treacherous paths, but her determination never wavered. The thought of helping her village kept her going. When she finally arrived, the villagers gathered around her, their faces etched with hope and curiosity. Mira held up the pear, its glow brightening the dim, dry landscape. With a deep breath, she made her wish aloud, "I wish for rain to fall upon our village and end this drought." A magical rain. As soon as Mira finished speaking, the pear's glow intensified, and a soft, shimmering mist began to rise from it. The mist spread across the village, and dark clouds began to form in the sky. Within moments, the heavens opened up, and a gentle, nourishing rain began to fall. The villagers cheered and danced in the rain, their spirits lifted by the long-awaited downpour. The fields and gardens, once parched and barren, began to soak up the precious water. Flowers bloomed, and the once dry landscape transformed into a lush, green paradise. Mira watched with tears of joy as her village flourished. She knew that while the pear had granted her wish, it was the collective hope and hard work of the villagers that had made it possible. The gift of the orchard. As the rain continued, Aloan appeared once more in the village. She praised Mira for her bravery and selflessness. "You have used the magic wisely and with a pure heart. Whispering Grove will always be here for those who seek to make the world a better place." Aloan gifted Mira a small sapling from the orchard, saying, "Plant this sapling in your village. It will grow into a tree that bears fruit filled with the same magic as the pear of wishes. And remember, the greatest magic comes from the kindness and courage within you." Mira planted the sapling in the center of the village, where it quickly took root and began to grow. The villagers continued to care for it, and it flourished into a magnificent tree, providing them with hope and inspiration. A lasting legacy. The tale of Mira and the enchanted orchard spread far and wide, becoming a cherished legend. Whispering Grove remained a place of magic and wonder, where dreams and wishes were nurtured by the heart's true desires. And Mira, the girl with a pure heart, became a symbol of hope and courage. Her village thrived, and the magic of the orchard continued to inspire those who sought to make a difference in the world. Once upon a time, in a land where rolling meadows met ancient forests, there was a village called Wrenwood. The villagers of Wrenwood lived in harmony with nature, guided by the rhythms of the changing seasons. They had a special place they called the Moonlit Glade, a mystical clearing deep in the forest that was said to hold great magic, especially under the light of the full moon. In this village lived a young boy named Theo, who was known for his boundless curiosity and adventurous spirit. Theo had grown up hearing tales of the Moonlit Glade and the wonders it held. The most enchanting of these stories was about a hidden treasure that could only be found under the light of a rare blue moon, which occurred once every 100 years. One evening, as the blue moon began to rise over the horizon, casting its silvery light across the land, Theo decided it was time to seek out the Moonlit Glade and uncover its secrets. With a small satchel of supplies, including a lantern, a map of the forest, and a piece of bread, Theo set off into the woods. The forest was alive with the sounds of nocturnal creatures. The moonlight filtered through the canopy, creating an ethereal glow. Theo followed a path lined with glowing mushrooms and twinkling fireflies that seemed to dance in the moonlight. After a while, Theo reached a fork in the path. Remembering his grandmother's tales, he took the left path, which was said to lead to the heart of the forest. The trees grew taller and the air felt cooler as he ventured deeper into the woods. The path wound around ancient oak trees and over babbling brooks until Theo arrived at a shimmering waterfall cascading into a crystal-clear pool. At the base of the waterfall, Theo noticed a small, intricately carved stone archway covered in delicate ivy. The archway seemed to glow softly in the moonlight. He stepped through the archway and found himself in the moonlit glade. The glade was breathtaking. The clearing was bathed in the soft, blue light of the moon, and the air was filled with the sweet fragrance of night-blooming flowers. At the center of the glade stood a large, ancient oak tree with branches that reached toward the sky, and beneath it, a large, ornate chest adorned with moonstones and silver filigree. Theo approached the chest with a sense of awe and anticipation. As he examined the chest, he noticed a small inscription that read, "To unlock the treasure, one must solve the riddle of the moon." Theo took a deep breath and read the inscription aloud. "I rise in the night and vanish by day. I have no wings but soar through the sky. What am I?" Theo thought for a moment, recalling the many stories he had heard about the moon. With a sense of certainty, he answered, "The moon." The chest's lock clicked open, revealing a beautiful, glowing crystal that shimmered with all the colors of the night sky. The crystal was set on a velvet cushion and seemed to pulse with a gentle, rhythmic light. As Theo reached out to take the crystal, a soft voice spoke from the tree. "You have found the heart of the moon, the treasure of the moonlit glade. This crystal holds the magic of the blue moon and can grant one true wish to someone with a pure heart." Theo's mind raced with possibilities, but he remembered the tales of his village and the struggles they had faced with crops and the river's dwindling flow. With a deep breath, he made his wish. "I wish for our village to have bountiful harvests and a thriving river, so that all may live in peace and prosperity." The moment Theo made his wish, the crystal's light grew brighter, illuminating the entire glade. The light spread beyond the glade, reaching Wrenwood. The crops in the fields began to flourish, and the river flowed with renewed vigor, sparkling with the same magical light that had filled the moonlit glade. Theo returned to Wrenwood, where he was greeted with astonished and grateful villagers. They marveled at the lush fields and the revitalized river, and Theo shared the story of his adventure and the magic of the moonlit glade. From that day forward, the villagers of Wrenwood celebrated the blue moon as a time of renewal and gratitude. The moonlit glade remained a place of wonder and magic, a reminder of the power of a pure heart and the enchantment that lies within the world. And so, under the light of many moons, Wrenwood thrived, and Theo's adventure became a cherished tale told for generations, inspiring others to seek out their own magic and make wishes for the greater good. The Starry Pendant. Once upon a time, in a serene kingdom where rolling hills met sparkling lakes, there was a small village known for its beauty and tranquility. This village had a secret, a hidden cave at the edge of the forest, where a magical pendant known as the Starry Pendant was said to be kept. The pendant was believed to have the power to bring dreams to life, but it could only be found by someone with a pure heart and a noble purpose. In this village lived a gentle girl named Arya. Arya was known for her kindness and her love for storytelling. She would often gather the village children and spin tales of wonder and magic. Despite her joyful nature, Arya's family was struggling. Her father, a skilled carpenter, had been unable to work due to an injury, and her mother had fallen ill. Arya's heart ached to find a way to help her family and bring happiness back to her home. One evening, as Arya sat by the fire telling stories, she overheard an old woman talking about the Starry Pendant and its magical powers. Determined to help her family and improve the lives of her fellow villagers, Arya decided to find the pendant and use its magic for good. The quest begins the following morning. Arya set off towards the forest, guided by the stories she had heard about the hidden cave. She packed a small bag with bread, a flask of water, and a warm cloak. The forest was dense and full of winding paths, but Arya's determination led her through. As she ventured deeper into the forest, Arya encountered a talking squirrel perched on a tree branch. The squirrel had bright, curious eyes and said, "To find the hidden cave, you must answer my riddle. I can fly without wings, I can cry without eyes. Wherever I go, darkness follows me. What am I?" Arya thought carefully and answered, "A cloud." the squirrel chattered in delight and pointed towards a narrow path that led further into the forest. Arya thanked the squirrel and followed the path. The enchanted glade. The path led Arya to a beautiful glade bathed in soft, golden light. In the center of the glade was a crystal-clear pond, and beside it stood a graceful swan with feathers that shimmered like moonlight. The swan spoke in a melodious voice, "To proceed, you must solve this riddle. I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and rivers but no water. What am I?" Arya considered the riddle and replied, "A map." The swan nodded and gracefully moved aside, revealing a hidden entrance to a cave concealed by ivy and moss. Arya entered the cave, her heart filled with hope. The Cave of Wonders. Inside the cave, Arya found herself in a magnificent chamber with walls that sparkled like stars. At the center of the chamber was a pedestal, and upon it rested the starry pendant. The pendant was a dazzling gem that seemed to capture the light of 1,000 stars. As Arya approached the pendant, a soft voice echoed through the chamber, "To receive the magic of the starry pendant, you must make a wish from the heart. What you wish for should be for the benefit of others." Arya closed her eyes and made her wish, "I wish for my family to be healed, for my father to recover, and for my village to be blessed with joy and prosperity." As she spoke, the pendant glowed with a brilliant light. The light began to flow out from the cave, spreading across the land, touching every corner of the village. Arya felt a warm, comforting breeze as the magic worked its wonders. The return home. When Arya returned to her village, she was met with an extraordinary sight. Her family was in good health, her father had returned to his work, and the village was bustling with renewed energy. The fields were flourishing, the wells were full, and there was an abundance of food. The villagers celebrated with a grand feast in Arya's honor, grateful for the magic of the starry pendant that had transformed their lives. Arya's kindness and bravery had brought happiness and prosperity to her home. The tale of Arya and the starry pendant became a beloved story in the village, a reminder of the power of selflessness and the magic that can be found when one's heart is full of love for others. And so, Arya's village thrived, forever blessed by the magic of the starry pendant in the heart of one extraordinary young girl. Once upon a time, in a land where the sun kissed the rolling hills and the breeze danced through the trees, there was an enchanted forest. The forest was known for its mystical creatures and magical wonders, but its most precious secret was a lost crown that had been missing for centuries. Long ago, the crown belonged to Queen Seraphina, a kind and wise ruler whose kingdom was filled with prosperity and peace. The crown was said to have the power to bring harmony to the land, but it vanished during a great storm. The kingdom fell into disarray, and the enchanted forest became a place of mystery and legend. In a small village on the edge of the enchanted forest lived a brave girl named Lyra. Lyra was known for her curiosity and her love for adventure. One day, while exploring the village's old library, she came across a tattered scroll with a map of the enchanted forest. The scroll hinted at the location of the lost crown. Lyra's heart raced with excitement. She decided to embark on a quest to find the crown and restore peace to the land. With a small satchel of supplies and a sense of determination, she set off into the forest. As Lyra ventured deeper into the enchanted forest, she encountered a series of magical beings who offered her guidance. The first was a wise old turtle named Tiberius, who was known for his knowledge of the forest. "Welcome, young traveler," Tiberius said in a deep, gravelly voice. "To find the lost crown, you must pass 3 trials. The first is the trial of courage. Follow the path of glowing mushrooms to find the hidden cave." Lyra thanked Tiberius and followed the path marked by the glowing mushrooms. The trail led her to a dark, mysterious cave. Inside, she faced her fear of the unknown and navigated through the shadows until she found a hidden chamber. There, she discovered a crystal vial filled with sparkling stardust, which was the key to the next trial. Exiting the cave, Lyra continued her journey and soon met a graceful deer named Alara, who guided her to a shimmering waterfall. "The second trial is the trial of wisdom," Alara explained. "You must solve the riddle of the waterfall to proceed." Lyra listened carefully as the waterfall began to speak in a gentle, rhythmic tone. The riddle was about balance and harmony, and after some thought, Lyra answered correctly. The waterfall parted to reveal a hidden path leading to a serene glade, where she found a golden leaf with intricate engravings. With the leaf in hand, Lyra proceeded to the final trial. The path led her to a grove where the trees seemed to whisper and sway in a rhythmic dance. Here, she encountered a mystical unicorn named Orion. "The final trial is the trial of kindness," Orion said. "You must help a creature in need to earn the last piece of the crown." In the grove, Lyra found a small, injured bird with a broken wing. She carefully tended to the bird, using her knowledge of herbs and her gentle touch to heal it. The bird chirped gratefully and flew off, leaving behind a delicate, silver feather. With the feather in hand, Lyra returned to the enchanted forest's heart, where she placed the stardust, golden leaf, and silver feather on an ancient altar. The forest's magic began to swirl around her, and a radiant light emerged from the altar, revealing the lost crown, which gleamed with an otherworldly glow. Lyra carefully picked up the crown and felt its powerful energy. She made her way back to the kingdom, where she placed the crown on a pedestal in the village square. The crown's magic spread throughout the land, bringing peace and prosperity back to the kingdom. The villagers celebrated Lyra's bravery and kindness, and the story of her quest was passed down through generations as a reminder of the power of courage, wisdom, and compassion. The enchanted forest became a place of harmony and wonder, and the lost crown was cherished as a symbol of hope and unity. And so, the kingdom thrived once more, forever touched by the magic of the enchanted forest in the heart of a brave girl who restored its lost crown. The end. The enchanted lantern in a faraway land near the mountains touched the sky and the forests whispered ancient secrets. There was a village named Lumina. Lumina was a place of magic and wonder, known for its vibrant festivals and glowing lanterns that floated high into the night sky. These lanterns were not just for show, they were said to carry wishes to the stars. In this village lived a young girl named Mira. Mira was known for her bright smile and her boundless curiosity. Her greatest dream was to see the world beyond Lumina and to find the legendary enchanted lantern, a mystical artifact said to grant a single wish to anyone who found it. The mysterious map. One crisp autumn evening, as the village prepared for the annual Lantern Festival, Mira discovered an old, dusty map hidden in her grandmother's attic. The map was adorned with intricate symbols and a glowing path leading to the enchanted lantern. Excited by her discovery, Mira decided to embark on a quest to find it. Before she left, Mira's grandmother gave her a small, silver locket that had been passed down through generations. This locket, her grandmother said, will guide you in times of need. Trust in its light and your heart. The journey begins with the map in hand and the locket around her neck. Mira set out on her adventure. The map led her through dense forests, over sparkling rivers, and up steep, misty mountains. Along the way, Mira encountered several magical creatures, a wise old owl, a playful brook sprite, and a gentle giant named Gorm. Each creature offered Mira a piece of advice. The owl spoke of the importance of wisdom and patience, the sprite warned her of hidden challenges, and Gorm advised her to rely on her courage and kindness. The hidden cavern. After days of traveling, Mira arrived at the base of a towering mountain. The map showed that the enchanted lantern was hidden in a secret cavern within the mountain. As she ventured into the dark cavern, the locket began to glow softly, illuminating her path. Inside the cavern, Mira faced a series of trials, a maze of glowing vines, a river of shimmering mist, and a bridge guarded by a riddle-speaking dragon. With the help of the locket's light and her newfound wisdom, Mira overcame each challenge with grace and determination. The enchanted lantern. At last, Mira reached the heart of the cavern. There, on a pedestal bathed in a soft, golden light, was the enchanted lantern. It was more beautiful than she had ever imagined, with delicate patterns of starlight etched into its surface. Mira approached the lantern, her heart pounding with anticipation. She took a deep breath and made her wish. I wish for the happiness and well-being of my village and everyone in it. As soon as she spoke her wish, the enchanted lantern glowed brightly, and a warm, comforting light filled the cavern. The light seemed to flow through Mira, filling her with a sense of peace and joy. A magical return. When Mira returned to Lumina, she was greeted with astonishment and celebration. The village was flourishing like never before, crops were bountiful, the rivers sparkled with clarity, and the lanterns floated higher and brighter than ever. Myra's bravery and selflessness had brought immense joy and prosperity to her village. The villagers celebrated with a grand festival, lighting lanterns that soared into the night sky, each one carrying a piece of their gratitude and love. A lasting legacy, the story of Myra and the enchanted lantern became a cherished tale in Lumina. Myra was remembered not just as a brave adventurer but as a beacon of hope and kindness. The locket she had used on her journey was placed in a special place in the village square, a reminder of the magic that lies in every act of selflessness and every wish made from the heart. And so, the village of Lumina continued to shine brightly under the light of its lanterns, forever guided by the courage and kindness of a young girl who had sought to bring happiness to her world. Once upon a time, high above the clouds in a hidden kingdom, there lived a princess named Elara. She was not like any ordinary princess, for Elara had wings as white as the clouds themselves, allowing her to soar above her kingdom. The kingdom was called Etheria, and it floated in the sky, tethered to the earth by ancient, unseen threads of magic. Princess Elara loved her kingdom dearly. She would spend hours each day flying over the fields of golden light and sparkling rivers of the sky. The people of Etheria admired their kind and free-spirited princess, but none loved her more than her father, King Orion. He was a wise ruler, but there was one thing that worried him. Elara had never seen the world below the clouds, the world of the earth. The world below is dangerous, he often warned. It is full of shadows and storms. You must promise me, Elara, that you will never fly down to the earth. Elara promised, but deep down, curiosity tugged at her heart. What could be so different about the world below? Why did the clouds shield them from the earth's surface? One evening, while flying near the edge of the kingdom, Elara spotted something strange, a golden feather drifting up from the clouds. It sparkled in the light of the setting sun, and she knew it was not from any creature of Etheria. Her heart raced. The feather seemed to carry with it a mystery, a secret calling her to follow. Without a second thought, Elara dived through the clouds, chasing the golden feather as it twirled and danced on the breeze. Down, down she flew, breaking through the thick layer of clouds for the first time in her life. The world below was vast and green, with forests that stretched as far as the eye could see and oceans that shimmered like sapphire. But the feather did not land in the peaceful fields or sparkling waters. It drifted towards a dark, twisted forest known as the Shadowwood, a place of legend and fear. As soon as Elara touched the ground at the edge of the forest, the feather vanished into the shadows. Elara knew she should turn back. She had promised her father never to descend to earth, and this forest was surely full of dangers. But her curiosity overpowered her caution. With wings tucked close to her back, she stepped into the forest. The trees of the Shadowwood were tall and gnarled, their branches like claws reaching for the sky. Strange whispers filled the air, but Elara pressed on, guided by an invisible force. Deeper into the forest she went, until she came upon a small clearing where a glowing, ancient tree stood. Its bark was silver, and at its base sat a woman draped in shimmering robes of gold. The woman looked up at Elara and smiled. "I've been waiting for you, Princess Elara." Elara blinked in surprise. "How do you know who I am?" "I know all who fly through the skies," said the woman. "I am Oriole, guardian of the winds. It was I who sent the golden feather to guide you here." "Why?" asked Elara, her wings twitching nervously. "My father warned me never to come to earth." Oriole's smile faded slightly, and her eyes grew thoughtful. "Your father is wise, but he has forgotten something important. Long ago, the people of Etheria and the earth lived in harmony, but that connection has been lost over time. The golden feather is a symbol of the bond between our worlds. It has been broken for too long." Elara listened closely, her heart stirring with the weight of Oriole's words. "The earth has grown dark in places," Oriole continued, "but it can be healed. You, Elara, have the heart of both the sky and the earth. You can help restore the balance." "But what can I do?" Elara asked, feeling small in the presence of the guardian. "Take this," said Oriole, and she handed Alara a small, golden seed. Plant this in the darkest part of the forest. It is a seed of light, and where it grows, the shadows will fade. Only you can plant it, for your heart carries the magic of the skies. Alara took the seed carefully, feeling its warmth in her hand. She knew this was why she had been drawn to the earth. Oriole pointed to the heart of the forest, where the trees grew thickest and no light could reach. Go there, Alara, and be brave. With a deep breath, Alara thanked the guardian and ventured into the darkest part of the Shadowwood. The shadows whispered to her, trying to frighten her, but she held the golden seed close and continued forward. After what felt like an eternity, she reached a clearing so dark that even her wings felt heavy with the weight of it. This is the place, she whispered to herself. With trembling hands, Alara knelt and dug a small hole in the cold earth. She placed the golden seed into the ground and covered it with soil. For a moment, nothing happened, and Alara feared the shadows had won. But then, a faint light began to shine from the ground. It grew brighter and brighter until a single golden sprout broke through the soil. The shadows hissed and shrank away, and the trees that had loomed so menacingly began to turn green and full of life. The light spread, chasing the darkness from the entire forest. Alara stood back, her heart swelling with joy. The forest was no longer a place of shadows, it was full of light, life, and beauty. As she flew back to Etheria, Alara carried with her the memory of the golden seed and the lesson she had learned. The earth and sky were meant to be connected, and it was her duty to help heal both. When she returned home, her father, King Orion, looked at her with worry, but Alara smiled and told him the story of her journey. And though he had feared the world below, he knew in his heart that Alara had done something extraordinary. From that day forward, Princess Alara was known as the Sky Princess who brought light to the earth, and the golden feather became a symbol of hope and unity between the sky and the world below. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, there lived a young girl named Lila. Lila had a deep love for music and a curious heart. Her greatest treasure was an old, ornate music box she had inherited from her grandmother. The music box was beautiful, with intricate carvings and a delicate key, but its melodies were magical, so magical that they could bring a smile to anyone's face and make the most dreary day bright. One chilly autumn evening, Lila's village faced a strange and troubling event. A thick fog rolled in from the river, and with it came an eerie silence. The once cheerful village was now hushed, and the people grew worried, for their crops were failing, and they couldn't hear the joyful sounds of their everyday lives. Determined to help her village, Lila decided to use the magic of her music box. She believed that its music could lift the fog and restore happiness. However, the box had always played its tunes by itself, and Lila had never quite understood how it worked. That night, under the light of a full moon, Lila set out on a journey to find the source of the fog. With her music box clutched tightly, she ventured into the dense forest. The trees loomed overhead, their branches whispering secrets in the wind. As she walked deeper into the forest, Lila came across a small, glowing clearing. At the center of the clearing stood an ancient oak tree with a hollow trunk. From within the hollow, a soft, mysterious light shone. Entranced, Lila approached the tree and saw a tiny door embedded in the bark. The door was adorned with strange symbols. Lila took out her music box and, with a trembling hand, placed it against the door. The music box began to play a gentle, enchanting melody, and as it did, the door slowly creaked open. Inside, she found a shimmering golden key. Taking the key, Lila felt a surge of hope. She continued her journey, guided by the music from her box. The path led her to a hidden glen where the fog was thickest. There, she saw a majestic stag with antlers that sparkled like stars. The stag had a sad, knowing look in his eyes. "I am the guardian of the forest," the stag spoke in a voice like rustling leaves. "The fog is the work of a sorrowful spirit who has lost her way. She has been trapped in her own sadness, causing this enchantment." Lila approached the stag with the golden key. "Can this key help me find and free the spirit?" The The stag nodded. Follow the path of the moonlight. It will lead you to the spirit's home. Lila followed the moonlit path, her music box playing softly in her hand. The keys seemed to guide her, glowing with each step. Eventually, she reached a hidden cave, its entrance cloaked in ivy. The cave was dimly lit, and at its center was a large, crystal-clear pool. Sitting by the pool was a delicate, ethereal spirit with wings like gossamer in a shimmering gown. Her eyes were filled with sadness, and the fog seemed to swirl around her. Lila approached her gently. "I have come to help. I have this key that I believe might help you." The spirit looked up with curious eyes. "This key belongs to the heart of the forest. It is said to unlock the light of hope." Lila held the key up to the spirit, and as the key touched her heart, a radiant light filled the cave. The fog began to dissipate, and the spirit's sorrow melted away. She smiled, her wings glowing with renewed light. "Thank you, dear child," the spirit said, her voice like a gentle breeze. "You have restored the balance. The forest will thrive once more, and your village will be blessed." With a wave of her hand, the spirit sent a shower of sparkling light into the sky. Lila watched in awe as the light spread over the village, lifting the fog and bringing a sense of joy and renewal. When Lila returned to her village, she was greeted with cheers and gratitude. The crops began to grow again, and the village was filled with laughter and music. The enchanted music box, once again, played its beautiful melodies, but now, the melodies seemed to carry a special magic that filled everyone's hearts with happiness. And so, Lila learned that sometimes, the most powerful magic comes from a kind heart and a willingness to help others. The village thrived, and the enchanted music box continued to be a symbol of hope and joy. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom known for its endless fields of flowers, there lived a gentle princess named Seraphina. Her kingdom, Lumina, was blessed with vibrant flora that bloomed in every color of the rainbow, but the most cherished flower of all was the moonflower, a rare blossom that only bloomed under the light of the full moon. The moonflower was said to possess magical properties. It could grant a single wish to anyone who found it under the full moon. For centuries, the moonflower had been a symbol of hope and dreams for the people of Lumina. Princess Seraphina, known for her kindness and wisdom, dreamed of using the moonflower's magic to help her kingdom, which had been suffering from a prolonged drought. One night, as the full moon rose high in the sky, casting a silvery glow over the land, Seraphina decided to seek out the moonflower. Guided by the gentle light of the moon and the soft whispers of the flowers, she ventured into the royal gardens, where the moonflower was believed to bloom. As Seraphina walked through the garden, she noticed a shimmering, ethereal light coming from the depths of the flower beds. She followed the light until she reached a secluded grove where the moonflower was said to grow. The grove was enchanting, with a soft, magical aura that seemed to make the air itself sparkle. However, when she arrived at the grove, Seraphina found that the moonflower was guarded by a wise old dragon named Eldrin. Eldrin had scales that gleamed like stardust, and his eyes were full of ancient wisdom. "To find the moonflower and make your wish," Eldrin said in a deep, rumbling voice, "you must prove yourself worthy by completing 3 tasks that test your heart and spirit." Seraphina, undaunted, agreed to the challenge. The first task was to retrieve a crystal tear from the songbird of serenity, a rare bird whose song could calm even the most troubled heart. The bird's nest was high atop a treacherous cliff, and Seraphina had to climb with great care to reach it. At the top, she found the songbird, which looked at her with understanding eyes. Seraphina sang a soft, sweet song of her own, one of hope and kindness, and the bird was moved by her sincerity. The songbird gifted her a crystal tear, which shimmered with a calming light. The second task was to find the golden leaf from the Tree of Echoes, which was located in the heart of the Whispering Forest. The Tree of Echoes was known for its ability to reflect the truth and grant wisdom. Seraphina ventured into the forest and navigated through its labyrinthine paths by listening to the whispers of the trees and the guidance of the gentle breeze. When she reached the Tree of Echoes, she was met with a choice: to take a single leaf or to listen to the tree's whispered wisdom. Seraphina chose to listen, learning a valuable lesson about the importance of patience and humility. the tree rewarded her with the golden leaf, which glittered with a warm, golden light. The final task was to bring the starfire crystal from the Cavern of Wonders, a hidden cave beneath the kingdom. The cavern was filled with intricate puzzles and traps, designed to test the courage and intelligence of those who entered. Seraphina solved the puzzles with her wits and bravery, and retrieved the starfire crystal, a gem that glowed with an inner fire. With all three items, the crystal tear, the golden leaf, and the starfire crystal, Seraphina returned to the grove. Eldrin examined the items and nodded with approval. "You have completed the tasks with a pure heart and a steadfast spirit," he said. "You may now seek the moonflower." In the center of the grove, the moonflower bloomed under the full moon, its petals glowing with a soft, silvery light. Seraphina approached the flower and made her wish with all her heart. "I wish for rain to fall upon my kingdom, so that the land may be restored and my people may flourish once more." As she spoke, the moonflower's light grew brighter, and a gentle rain began to fall over Lumina. The kingdom's parched fields and dried riverbeds were soon rejuvenated, and the land was once again vibrant and lush. Seraphina returned to her kingdom, where the people welcomed her with joy and celebration. The rain had brought new life to the land, and the kingdom thrived once more. The tale of Princess Seraphina and the Moonflower became a beloved legend in Lumina, a reminder of the power of courage, kindness, and the magic that can be found in even the smallest of wishes. And so, under the light of the full moon, Lumina continued to flourish, its fields forever blooming with the enchanting beauty of the Moonflower, and its people forever grateful for their wise and compassionate princess. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between the rolling hills and vast oceans, there was a small village called Glimmerbrook. This village was renowned for its beautiful gardens, which were said to be blessed by the stars themselves. The most extraordinary of these gardens belonged to a kind-hearted girl named Lyra. Lyra had inherited the garden from her grandmother, who had taught her the secrets of nurturing the magical plants that grew there. Every night, the flowers in Lyra's garden would glow softly, as if kissed by starlight, and their sweet fragrance would fill the air. One evening, as Lyra tended to her garden, a soft voice called out from the shadows. It was a fairy named Alara, her wings shimmering like silver moonlight. "Lyra," said Alara, "your garden is beautiful, but it holds a greater destiny. The stars have chosen you for a special task." Curious and a little anxious, Lyra listened as Alara explained. "Far beyond the mountains lies the Valley of Shadows, a place where light and hope have been forgotten. The heart of the garden, a magical flower that blooms once every century, can restore light to the valley. You must find this flower and bring it back before the next full moon." Determined to help, Lyra agreed. The next morning, she set out on her journey, accompanied by her loyal cat, Luna, who had a knack for sensing magic. They traveled through dense forests, across roaring rivers, and up steep mountains. One night, as they camped under the stars, Lyra heard a rustling sound. Luna's eyes glowed in the dark, and they soon spotted a figure approaching. It was a wise old turtle named Tiberius, who had heard of their quest. "I can guide you through the Valley of Shadows," he offered. "But beware, the valley is guarded by a sorrowful spirit who will try to discourage you." With Tiberius leading the way, Lyra and Luna finally reached the edge of the Valley of Shadows. The air was heavy, and the once vibrant land was now bleak and desolate. As they ventured deeper, they encountered the spirit, a ghostly figure named Seraphina. Seraphina's voice was a whispering wind, filled with sadness. "Turn back, young one. This place is lost, and no flower can restore it." But Lyra, with her heart full of hope, replied, "I believe in the power of the heart of the garden. Please, let me try." Seraphina was moved by Lyra's determination. "Very well," she sighed. "If you can find the flower, perhaps there is hope after all." With renewed resolve, Lyra and her companions searched the valley. After what felt like days, they stumbled upon a hidden grove where the heart of the garden lay dormant, its petals closed tightly. Lyra gently touched the flower, and it began to bloom, radiating a light so pure that it chased away the shadows. The Valley of Shadows transformed before their eyes. Flowers began to bloom, the air grew lighter, and the sun pierced through the clouds. Seraphina's spirit smiled, finally at peace, and she vanished into the light. Lyra carefully carried the heart of the garden back to Glimmerbrook, where it took root in her garden. The magical flower's light spread throughout the village, bringing prosperity and happiness to all. Lyra's bravery and kindness became a legend, and the starlit garden continued to bloom, a testament to the power of hope and the magic of the stars. And so, Lyra, Luna, and the village of Glimmerbrook lived happily ever after, under the watchful eyes of the stars. I hope you enjoyed the tale. Once upon a time, in a lush and verdant valley surrounded by towering mountains, there was a small village named Greenfield. Greenfield was known for its beauty and the gentle, ancient willow tree that stood in the center of the village square. This willow, known as the Whispering Willow, was said to possess magical powers that could grant wishes to those with a pure heart. The villagers revered the Whispering Willow, for it was said that its whispers could guide them through difficult times and fulfill their deepest desires. However, as years passed, the willow's leaves began to wilt, and its once soft whispers grew faint. The village's prosperity seemed to wane with the willow's declining magic. Among the villagers was a young girl named Luna, known for her curiosity and kindness. She loved the Whispering Willow dearly and was determined to restore its magic. One evening, as she sat beneath its drooping branches, she overheard the willow's faintest whisper, "Find the heart of the forest, and the magic shall return." Determined, Luna decided to embark on a quest to find the heart of the forest, which was said to be hidden deep within the enchanted woods. The enchanted woods were known for their magical creatures and mysterious pathways, and no one had ventured into them for years. Early the next morning, Luna set off with a small satchel filled with provisions and a heart full of hope. As she ventured into the woods, she met a cheerful squirrel named Nutmeg, who seemed to have a keen sense of direction. "Hello, Nutmeg," Luna said. "I'm searching for the heart of the forest. Can you help me find it?" Nutmeg twitched his nose and nodded. "Follow the path of golden acorns," he instructed. "They will guide you to the heart." Luna followed the trail of golden acorns, which led her deeper into the woods. She soon arrived at a sparkling brook where a graceful swan named Celine floated gracefully. Celine was known for her wisdom and her ability to see beyond the surface. To reach the heart of the forest, Celine said, "You must cross this brook by solving a riddle. Only then will the path become clear." Celine's riddle was, "I can fly without wings. I can cry without eyes. Wherever I go, darkness flies. What am I?" Luna pondered the riddle and replied, "A cloud." Celine smiled and allowed Luna to cross the brook. As she continued, she came upon a clearing where a gentle giant of a tree stood. This tree, known as Arbor, was the final guardian of the heart of the forest. Arbor's voice rumbled like distant thunder as he spoke, "To find the heart, you must demonstrate your true heart's worth. Plant this seed, and if your intentions are pure, it will reveal the path." Luna took the seed and planted it in the fertile soil of the clearing. She watered it with care and patience, and watched as it grew into a radiant tree with luminous, silver leaves. At the tree's base was a hidden compartment, and inside it was a glowing crystal, the heart of the forest. With the heart of the forest in hand, Luna made her way back to Greenfield. As she approached the Whispering Willow, she gently placed the crystal into a hollow within the tree's trunk. The moment the crystal touched the tree, a brilliant light erupted, and the willow's leaves began to shimmer and glow. The Whispering Willow's whispers grew louder and more vibrant, filling the village with a sense of joy and wonder. The village of Greenfield thrived once more, with its fields becoming lush and its people's spirits lifted. The willow's magic had been restored, and the village celebrated Luna's bravery and kindness. The tale of Luna's quest became a cherished story in Greenfield, passed down through generations. The Whispering Willow continued to stand as a symbol of hope and magic, reminding everyone that true magic lies in the purity of the heart and the courage to embark on a quest for the greater good. And so, Greenfield flourished, its nights brightened by the willow's whispers and its days filled with prosperity and joy, thanks to the bravery and determination of a young girl who listened to the whispers of her heart. Once upon a time, in a land where emerald forests met shimmering lakes, there was a hidden village called Luminera. This village was renowned for its enchanting music, which was said to be woven from moonlight and stardust. Every evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the village would light up with a soft, magical glow, and the air would be filled with melodies that seemed to touch the very soul. The source of this enchanting music was a young woman named Lyra. Lyra was a gifted musician who played a silver harp passed down through generations in her family. The harp was rumored to be imbued with a touch of moon magic, but no one knew the full extent of its power except for Lyra. She had always believed that the harp held a special secret, but its mysteries remained hidden from her. One clear, moonlit night, as the village prepared for its annual Moonlight Festival, Lyra noticed something unusual. The moon was brighter than ever, casting a silvery glow over the village and its surroundings. The air was charged with an ethereal energy that made Lyra's harp vibrate softly as if it was responding to the moon's light. That night, as Lyra played her harp, the melodies took on a new, hauntingly beautiful quality. The notes seemed to dance on the breeze, creating shimmering patterns of light and shadow. The villagers were mesmerized by the music, feeling as though they were floating in a dream. As the festival reached its peak, a mysterious figure appeared at the edge of the village. He was cloaked in a deep, midnight blue robe that sparkled like the night sky, and his eyes shone with an otherworldly light. He watched Lyra intently as she played, his expression a mix of curiosity and admiration. After the performance, the figure approached Lyra. "Your music is extraordinary," he said, his voice like a gentle breeze. "I am Orion, a guardian of the moon's secrets. The time has come for you to uncover the true magic of your harp." Lyra was astonished but intrigued. "How can I uncover its magic?" Orion smiled. "The harp's power is connected to the moon's light. On this night, when the moon is at its fullest, you have the chance to reveal its hidden potential. Follow me, and I will guide you." Orion led Lyra to a secluded glade at the edge of the forest. The moonlight here was particularly intense, bathing the glade in a soft, silvery light. At the center of the glade was a stone altar, and beside it, a small pool of crystal-clear water. "Place your harp upon the altar," Orion instructed, "and play a melody that comes from your heart." Lyra placed her harp on the altar and began to play. As she strummed the strings, a gentle, harmonious sound filled the glade. The moonlight seemed to respond, growing brighter and swirling around her like a magical mist. The notes from the harp floated into the air, merging with the moonlight to create a stunning spectacle of light and sound. Suddenly, the water in the pool began to glow, and a vision appeared on its surface. It was a beautiful, shimmering realm that looked like a dreamscape of stars and moonlight. The vision revealed a hidden garden, where flowers glowed with an otherworldly light and trees sparkled like constellations. Orion spoke again, his voice full of wonder. "The vision you see is the heart of the moon, a place where dreams and magic are born. Your harp has the power to unlock the gateway to this realm. To open it, you must play a melody that harmonizes with the heartbeat of the moon." Lyra focused deeply, allowing her music to flow with the rhythm of her heart and the pulse of the moonlight. The melody she played was a perfect blend of hope, joy, and wonder. As the final note resonated through the air, the vision on the water grew brighter, and a shimmering portal appeared above the pool. The portal led to the heart of the moon, and Lyra stepped through it with Orion guiding her. As she entered the magical realm, she was greeted by a breathtaking landscape of luminescent flowers and ethereal creatures. The air was filled with the sweet scent of moonflowers, and the ground sparkled like a blanket of stardust. In the center of this magical garden stood a majestic, ancient tree with silver leaves that shimmered like liquid moonlight. Orion led Lyra to the tree, where she saw a small, golden chest nestled among its roots. "This chest holds the essence of the moon's magic," Orion explained. "It is yours to protect and share with the world. Your music has awakened the heart of the moon, and now you have the gift of its magic." Lyra opened the chest, and inside, she found a delicate silver pendant that glowed softly with moonlight. She knew that this pendant was a symbol of her connection to the moon's magic and that it would enhance her music in ways she had never imagined. With With the pendant safely around her neck, Lyra returned to Luminera, where her music took on a new, enchanting quality. The melodies she played now carried the magic of the moon, filling the village with a sense of wonder and joy. The Moonlight Festival became a celebration of not just music but the magic that united the heart and the cosmos. And so, Lyra's melodies continued to weave moonlight and dreams into every note, reminding the villagers of the beauty and magic that lay within their own hearts and the world around them. Once upon a time, in a village nestled between rolling hills and the sparkling river, there was a curious girl named Elara who loved exploring the woods. One sunny afternoon, as Elara wandered deeper into the forest than ever before, she stumbled upon an old, ivy-covered gate entwined with flowers that shimmered in every color of the rainbow. The gate was locked, but Elara noticed a tiny key hanging from a branch nearby. She took the key, and as it fit perfectly into the gate's lock, a soft click echoed through the forest. The gate creaked open to reveal a hidden garden beyond, a place she had never seen. The garden was a magical wonderland. Tall, ancient trees with leaves that glistened like diamonds formed a canopy overhead. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers, and in the center of the garden was a large, sparkling pond. On the pond floated lily pads, each adorned with glowing golden flowers. Elara approached the pond and saw a small, delicate fairy sitting on a lily pad, her wings sparkling like the stars. The fairy looked up and smiled. "Welcome, Elara. I am Lyra, the guardian of this enchanted garden. You have unlocked the gate to a place few have ever seen." Elara was amazed. "How do you know my name?" Lyra giggled. "The garden knows all who enter. We have been waiting for someone with a kind heart and brave spirit. There is a special quest I need your help with." "What is it?" Elara asked eagerly. "The magical balance of our garden is disrupted," Lyra explained. "A dark shadow has stolen the heart of the garden, a crystal that keeps our world flourishing. Without it, the garden will wilt and fade. We need to retrieve it before the garden's magic is lost forever." Elara's eyes widened. "How can I help?" Lyra handed her a map made of shimmering leaves. "Follow this map to the Cavern of Echoes. The heart of the garden is hidden there, guarded by a riddle that only the pure of heart can solve." With determination in her eyes, Elara set off on her quest. The map led her through dense thickets and over babbling brooks. After a long journey, she reached the entrance to the Cavern of Echoes, a grand, dark cave with sparkling stalactites. Inside, the cavern was filled with echoes of past voices, creating a mystical ambience. In the center of the cavern stood a pedestal with a golden box on it. A note lay beside it, inscribed with the riddle, "I am not alive, yet I grow. I do not have lungs, yet I need air. I do not have a mouth, yet water kills me. What am I?" Elara thought carefully. She remembered her adventures and the things she had seen. Then it hit her, the answer was fire. She spoke the word aloud, and the golden box opened, revealing the heart of the garden, glowing with a warm, comforting light. With the heart of the garden in hand, Elara returned to the enchanted garden. Lyra was waiting by the pond, her wings fluttering with excitement. Elara placed the heart back in its rightful place, and a wave of vibrant energy spread through the garden. Flowers bloomed even more brightly, and the trees seemed to dance in the gentle breeze. "Thank you, Elara," Lyra said, tears of joy sparkling in her eyes. "You have saved our garden and restored its magic." Elara smiled, feeling a sense of accomplishment and wonder. "I'm glad I could help. This garden is truly amazing." Lyra gave her a small, glowing flower as a token of gratitude. "Whenever you need a bit of magic, just think of this flower, and it will guide you back here." Elara bid farewell to Lyra and the enchanted garden, knowing she had been part of something truly special. As she left the forest and returned to her village, she carried the memory of her adventure and the glowing flower as a reminder of the magic that existed in the world, just waiting to be discovered. And so, Elara's days were filled with wonder and joy, knowing that sometimes, the most magical things are found in the places we least expect. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between lush hills and shimmering lakes, there was a small amusement park known as Dreamland. Dreamland was famous for its magical carousel, a majestic wooden ride adorned with carved animals and intricate designs. The carousel was said to have the power to bring dreams to life, but only if ridden during a rare celestial event called the Night of Stars. In this village lived a gentle girl named Alara, who had always been enchanted by the stories of Dreamland's carousel. Her favorite story was about a hidden magical realm that could be accessed through the carousel during the Night of Stars. This rare event happened only once every 100 years, and Alara was determined to experience it. As the Night of Stars approached, the villagers prepared for the celestial event with great excitement. The sky would be filled with falling stars, and the carousel would be illuminated with thousands of twinkling lights. Alara, who had always dreamed of visiting the magical realm, felt a mixture of excitement and trepidation. She had heard tales of the carousel's magic, but no one knew exactly what to expect. On the evening of the Night of Stars, the village was aglow with lanterns, and the carousel was beautifully decorated with shimmering stars and glowing lanterns. Alara arrived at Dreamland as the first star began to twinkle in the night sky. She watched in awe as the carousel started to spin, its lights casting a mesmerizing pattern across the ground. Alara approached the carousel and noticed that each of the carved animals, horses, unicorns, and even a majestic phoenix, seemed to glimmer with a life of their own. The carousel's music, a soft and enchanting melody, filled the air. She selected a beautiful, intricately carved unicorn and took her place on its back. As the carousel began to spin faster, the sky outside grew darker, and the stars seemed to shine even brighter. Suddenly, a soft, warm light enveloped Alara and the unicorn, and they began to rise from the carousel. With a gentle whoosh, they were transported into a wondrous, magical realm. Alara found herself in a breathtaking land of floating islands, cascading waterfalls of light, and glowing flora. The air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers and the sound of harmonious music. As she looked around, she saw fantastical creatures like shimmering fairies and gentle dragon-like beings. A graceful fairy with silver wings fluttered up to Alara and introduced herself as Luna, the guardian of the magical realm. "Welcome to the realm of dreams," Luna said with a warm smile. "This is a special place where dreams and reality intertwine. The Night of Stars has brought you here because your heart is pure and your dreams are sincere." Luna explained that Alara had the opportunity to make a wish that could shape the future of the magical realm and her own world. Alara thought deeply about her wish. She remembered the struggles her village had faced and the dreams she had for a better future. With a heart full of hope, she made her wish. "I wish for harmony and happiness to spread throughout my village and for everyone to find their dreams fulfilled." As Alara finished making her wish, a brilliant light enveloped the entire realm. The magic of her wish began to take shape, and the realm of dreams started to reflect the harmony and joy that Alara had wished for. The floating islands became lush with vibrant flowers, and the waterfalls of light sparkled even more brightly. Luna thanked Alara for her selfless wish and guided her back to the carousel. With a gentle motion, the unicorn and Alara were transported back to Dreamland, just as the Night of Stars was coming to a close. The carousel's music softened, and the lights began to dim. Alara dismounted the unicorn, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment and joy. The villagers gathered around, marveling at the radiant smile on her face. Though she could not share all the details of her magical journey, she told them of the beauty and peace she had experienced. The next day, as the sun rose over the village, a newfound sense of harmony and happiness began to flourish in Willowbrook. The crops thrived, the rivers flowed abundantly, and the villagers were filled with an unexplainable joy and contentment. It was as if Alara's wish had indeed transformed their lives for the better. And so, Dreamland's carousel became even more cherished by the villagers. The Night of Stars continued to be a time of celebration and wonder, and the story of Alara's journey to the realm of dreams was told for generations as a tale of hope, selflessness, and the magical power of a true heart. Once upon a time, in the beautiful kingdom of Luminera, there lived a wise and kind-hearted king named Eric and his equally beloved queen, Alara. They had a daughter named Amara, who was as brave as she was beautiful. Amara loved her people and spent her days learning about the kingdom and helping those in need. But despite her cheerful demeanor, there was always a sense of mystery about her. One fateful day, Queen Alara fell gravely ill. Despite the efforts of the kingdom's best healers, her condition continued to worsen. Desperate to save her mother, Princess Amara sought the counsel of the kingdom's oldest sage, an elderly woman named Matilda who lived in a secluded cottage deep within the Whispering Woods. Matilda listened intently to Amara's plight. "There is one thing that might save your mother," she said, her voice trembling with age. "The enchanted mirror of Seraphine. It possesses powerful magic that can heal even the gravest of illnesses. However, it is hidden in the Forbidden Fortress, guarded by fierce creatures and treacherous traps." Without hesitation, Amara decided to embark on the perilous journey to find the enchanted mirror. The next morning, with her father's reluctant blessing and a heart full of determination, she set off on her quest. She took with her a loyal companion, a talking owl named Oliver, who had been her friend since childhood. As they journeyed through the Whispering Woods, Amara and Oliver encountered numerous challenges. They crossed a river of swirling rapids on a rickety old bridge, narrowly avoiding being swept away. They navigated through a dense, enchanted forest where the trees seemed to move on their own, trying to lead them astray. After several days, they reached the outskirts of the Forbidden Fortress. The ancient, towering structure loomed ominously before them, surrounded by jagged rocks and a moat filled with dark, murky water. Amara took a deep breath and, with Oliver perched on her shoulder, began to search for a way inside. They found a hidden entrance, a narrow passageway concealed by thick vines. Inside the fortress, the air was damp and cold, and the only light came from the faint glow of torches mounted on the walls. Amara and Oliver moved cautiously, aware that the fortress was filled with hidden dangers. As they ventured deeper, they encountered the first guardian, a giant spider with eyes that glowed like embers. The spider blocked their path, its fangs dripping with venom. Summoning all her courage, Amara drew her sword, ready to defend herself. But Oliver, ever the clever owl, had a different idea. He flew to the spider and began to speak in its language, a series of clicks and hisses. The spider hesitated, then slowly retreated, allowing Amara and Oliver to pass. "How did you do that?" Amara asked, amazed. "I reminded her of the ancient pact between our ancestors," Oliver explained. "We owe each other a debt of peace." Continuing their journey, they faced numerous other trials, including a room filled with shifting floors and hidden spikes, and a corridor guarded by a fierce, fire-breathing dragon. With Oliver's wisdom and Amara's bravery, they overcame each challenge, growing more determined with every step. Finally, they reached the heart of the fortress, a grand chamber where the enchanted mirror of Seraphine was kept. The mirror was mounted on an ornate golden frame, its surface shimmering with a magical light. However, as they approached, the final guardian appeared, a spectral knight clad in armor that glowed with an eerie blue light. "You shall not take the mirror," the knight declared, his voice echoing through the chamber. Amara stepped forward, her heart pounding. "I seek the mirror to save my mother, the queen. Please, allow me to take it." The spectral knight paused, as if considering her words. "Only one who is truly selfless and pure of heart may wield the power of the enchanted mirror. Prove your worth, princess." Amara thought for a moment, then realized what she had to do. She knelt before the knight and placed her sword at his feet. "I am willing to give up everything, even my life, to save my mother and protect my kingdom. Please, grant me this chance." The knight's eyes softened, and he slowly nodded. "You have proven your worth, Princess Amara. The mirror is yours." With great reverence, Amara approached the enchanted mirror and carefully took it down from its place. The moment she touched it, she felt a warm, soothing energy flow through her. She thanked the spectral knight, who bowed in return and then vanished. With the enchanted mirror in hand, Amara and Oliver hurried back to Luminera. The journey back seemed shorter, as if the mirror's magic was guiding them home. When they arrived, they found Queen Alara's condition had worsened. Without wasting a moment, Amara held the mirror over her mother, and its magical light enveloped the queen. Slowly, Queen Alara opened her eyes, her strength returning. She smiled at her daughter, tears of gratitude in her eyes. "Thank you, Amara. You have saved me." The kingdom rejoiced at the queen's miraculous recovery. King Eric declared a week of celebration, and Amara's bravery and selflessness became the stuff of legends. The enchanted mirror was placed in a special chamber in the castle, its magic reserved for those in greatest need. And so, Princess Amara continued to rule with wisdom and compassion, her bond with her mother stronger than ever. With Oliver by her side, she knew that any challenge could be overcome with courage, kindness, and a little bit of magic. And they all lived happily ever after. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a land where the sky kissed the mountains and the rivers sang lullabies to the valleys, there was a small village named Eldoria. This village was known for its breathtaking gardens, but none was as magnificent as the Starlit Garden, a place where flowers bloomed only under the light of the stars. The garden was a source of wonder and magic, and it was said that its flowers held the power to grant wishes. In Eldoria lived a young girl named Leora. She was a kind and curious soul, always exploring the woods and fields, and she loved the village's gardens more than anything. Leora had a special connection with nature, and wherever she walked, plants seemed to grow greener and flowers bloomed more brightly. One day, a terrible drought struck Eldoria. The rivers dried up, the fields turned brown, and the once lush gardens withered. The villagers were in despair, for without their gardens, they feared for their survival. The village elder, a wise old woman named Serafina, told the villagers that the only hope was to find the enchanted watering can hidden in the heart of the Starlit Garden. This watering can was said to hold the purest water from the stars, capable of reviving even the driest land. However, reaching the heart of the Starlit Garden was no easy task. It was guarded by the mysterious Star Keeper, a guardian who tested the worthiness of those who sought its treasures. Many brave villagers had tried and failed to find the enchanted watering can. Leora, seeing the sorrow of her people, decided that she must try to save her village. One clear night, she set off towards the Starlit Garden, guided by the shimmering light of the stars. As she approached the garden's entrance, she felt a strange warmth and heard a soft, melodious voice. "Who dares to enter the Starlit Garden?" the voice asked. "It is I, Leora," she replied, her voice steady but respectful. "I seek the enchanted watering can to save my village from the drought." The voice, which belonged to the Star Keeper, was silent for a moment before responding. "Many have tried and failed. To prove your worth, you must pass 3 tests, each more challenging than the last. Are you prepared for this journey?" Leora nodded, her determination unwavering. "I am ready." The first test was the test of patience. Leora found herself in a beautiful meadow filled with golden flowers. The Star Keeper's voice echoed, "You must pick the rarest silver flower among these golden ones, but beware, for it blooms only once every 100 years. Leora walked through the meadow, carefully observing each flower. Hours turned into days, but she remained patient, never losing hope. On the 7th night, under the light of the full moon, she spotted a single silver flower blooming. With great care, she picked it and presented it to the Star Keeper. "You have passed the test of patience," the Star Keeper said. "Now, for the second test, the test of kindness." Leora was transported to a dark forest where she encountered a wounded fox. Without hesitation, she tended to its wounds using herbs she found along the way. The fox, grateful for her kindness, led her to a hidden grove where a lost child was crying for help. Leora comforted the child and guided him back to the village. "You have shown great kindness," the Star Keeper said. "Now, for the final test, the test of courage." Leora found herself standing before a raging river, with no bridge or boat in sight. On the other side, she could see the enchanted watering can, glowing softly. Summoning all her courage, Leora waded into the river. The current was strong, but she pressed on, driven by her love for her village. With great effort, she reached the other side and grasped the watering can. The Star Keeper appeared before her, a radiant figure of light. you have passed the test of courage. Your heart is pure, and your spirit is strong. Take the enchanted watering can and save your village." Leora thanked the Star Keeper and hurried back to Eldoria. She used the enchanted watering can to water the gardens, and as the pure water touched the soil, the plants began to revive. The rivers flowed once more, and the fields turned green. The villagers rejoiced, praising Leora for her bravery and selflessness. From that day on, the Starlit Garden flourished even more brilliantly, its magic intertwined with the love and courage of Leora. She continued to care for the gardens and teach the villagers about the importance of patience, kindness, and courage. Eldoria thrived, its beauty and prosperity becoming legendary. And Leora, the girl who had saved her village, lived a life filled with joy and fulfillment, knowing that she had made a difference. The story of Leora and the Starlit Garden was passed down through generations, a timeless tale of hope and the enduring power of a brave and loving heart. And so, they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a tranquil kingdom surrounded by lush forests and sparkling rivers, there was a magical realm known for its beautiful birds. Among them was the rare silver feather, a mythical bird said to possess extraordinary powers and grant one heartfelt wish to anyone who could find it. In a small village at the edge of the kingdom, there lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was kind and brave, always helping her neighbors with their troubles. Her family was poor, but they were rich in love and kindness. Elara's greatest wish was to improve the lives of those around her and bring prosperity to her struggling village. One day, a severe winter hit the kingdom, bringing with it an unusually harsh frost. The crops failed, and the villagers were growing anxious. Remembering the legend of the silver feather, Elara decided to set out on a quest to find the mythical bird and make a wish that could save her village. The quest begins early one morning. Elara prepared for her journey. She packed a small bag with essentials, a warm cloak, some bread, and a flask of water. Her mother gave her a silver locket for good luck, a family heirloom that had been passed down through generations. With a hopeful heart, Elara ventured into the forest, guided by the tales of the silver feather. As she walked deeper into the forest, Elara came across a wise old tortoise named Thaddeus, who was known for his knowledge of the enchanted woods. Thaddeus was resting on a moss-covered rock, basking in the weak winter sunlight. "Good day, Thaddeus," Elara greeted him respectfully. "I'm on a quest to find the silver feather. Can you help me?" Thaddeus looked at Elara with wise, kind eyes. "The silver feather is a difficult treasure to find," he said. "It is said to dwell in the heart of the Whispering Glade. But first, you must overcome 3 trials that test the purity of your heart." The first trial, the frosted lake. Elara followed Thaddeus's directions to a frozen lake surrounded by tall, snow-covered trees. The ice was thick and treacherous, and Elara had to cross it to continue her quest. As she stepped onto the ice, it began to crack and groan. In the middle of the lake, she spotted a riddle carved into the ice. "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Elara thought carefully and then answered aloud, "Fire." With her answer, the ice beneath her feet stopped cracking, and a narrow path appeared, leading her safely to the other side. The first trial was complete. The second trial, the enchanted grove. Elara soon arrived at a grove filled with glowing, magical flowers. The grove was beautiful but bewildering. The flowers seemed to hum and dance in the cold wind, creating a maze of shimmering petals. A sign in the center of the grove read, "To pass through, you must find the path of light. Follow the song that leads to the heart." Elara listened closely to the harmonious melody of the flowers and followed the softest, most enchanting tune. As she walked, the flowers seemed to part, guiding her through the maze until she reached the center of the grove. There, a small, sparkling key lay on a pedestal. The third trial, the guardian of the Whispering Glade. Elara continued her journey and finally reached the Whispering Glade, a serene, mystical place with tall trees that seemed to whisper secrets. In the center of the glade stood a majestic, ancient tree with a face carved into its trunk. The tree was the guardian of the glade. "Welcome, Elara," the guardian spoke in a deep, gentle voice. "You have completed the trials, but now you must show that your wish is truly selfless." Elara approached the guardian and spoke from her heart. "My wish is not for myself but for my village. I want to bring prosperity and warmth to those who are suffering from the harsh winter." The guardian listened intently and then nodded. "Your heart is pure, and your wish is selfless. The silver feather will grant your wish, but remember that true magic lies in the kindness you show others." The silver feather appears as the guardian spoke. A soft, shimmering light filled the glade. The silver feather appeared, its plumage sparkling like moonlight on fresh snow. The bird flew gracefully towards Elara, and she reached out, carefully taking the feather in her hand. The moment she held the silver feather, a warm, golden light enveloped the entire whispering glade. Elara felt a rush of joy and relief as the magic of the feather began to spread. Returned to the village, Elara hurried back to her village with the silver feather. When she arrived, she found that the feather's magic had already started to work. The snow began to melt, the crops revived, and a sense of warmth and renewal spread through the village. The villagers were overjoyed and amazed at the transformation. They celebrated Elara's bravery and kindness with a grand feast, and the once struggling village now thrived with abundance. Elara's family was immensely proud of her, and the village honored her as a true hero. The silver feather, having fulfilled its purpose, disappeared back into the magical forest, leaving behind a lasting legacy of hope and generosity. A lasting legacy. Years passed, and the story of Elara and the silver feather became a cherished tale told to children around the village. Elara continued to help others, her actions always guided by the selflessness that had brought the silver feather to her. The kingdom flourished, and the forest remained a place of magic and wonder. Elara's legacy was a reminder that the greatest treasures are found in the kindness and love we give to others. And so, the village lived in prosperity and harmony, and the legend of the silver feather lived on as a beacon of hope for all who heard it. The end. Once upon a time, in a faraway land filled with rolling hills and sparkling streams, there was a village named Fernwood. Fernwood was nestled at the edge of the Whispering Forest, a magical place said to be home to fairies, talking animals, and hidden wonders. In this village lived a kind-hearted young woman named Elara. She loved the forest and often wandered its paths, fascinated by the mysterious beauty it held. One sunny morning, as Elara strolled along her favorite trail, she discovered a hidden grove she had never seen before. The trees in this grove were unlike any others. Their leaves shimmered in hues of gold and silver, and the flowers that grew here glowed with a soft, otherworldly light. At the heart of the grove stood a grand oak tree with branches that seemed to touch the sky. Intrigued, Elara approached the tree and noticed a small, intricate door carved into its trunk. Above the door was a sign that read, "To those with a pure heart, the magic shall unfold." Elara hesitated for a moment but then gently pushed open the door. Inside, she found a cozy room filled with warm light. On a pedestal in the center of the room rested a golden box adorned with emeralds and sapphires. Elara opened the box, and a delicate, magical mist swirled around her. Inside the box was a scroll with ancient writing. Suddenly, a tiny figure appeared in the air, a fairy named Lumina. She had shimmering wings and a playful smile. "Welcome, Elara," Lumina said with a twinkle in her eye. "You have found the heart of the grove, a place of great magic and wonder. But to unlock its secrets, you must first complete a quest." Elara's eyes widened. "What must I do?" she asked eagerly. Lumina floated gracefully around the room. "There are 3 tasks that you must complete. Each will test your courage, wisdom, and kindness. Only then will you be granted a gift from the grove." Elara agreed without hesitation. Lumina waved her wand, and suddenly, they were outside the grove, standing before a shimmering river. "The first task," Lumina explained, "is to retrieve a golden fish from the river. This fish is guarded by a dragon who lives beneath the water." Elara looked at the river nervously. But with Lumina's encouragement, she waded into the cool water. As she approached the river's center, a gentle, wise dragon named Draconis emerged from the depths. His scales glistened like precious gems. "Greetings, brave one," Draconis said in a deep, soothing voice. "To earn the golden fish, you must solve my riddle." Elara listened closely as Draconis spoke. "I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, rivers but no water. What am I?" Elara thought hard. Then, a smile crossed her face. "A map," she answered confidently. Draconis nodded approvingly and handed her a small, golden fish. "You have shown wisdom. Proceed to your next task." With the golden fish safely in hand, Elara and Lumina traveled to the edge of a dense forest. "The second task," Lumina said, "is to find and help a lost deer. This deer has become trapped in a magical thicket." Elara ventured into the forest, her heart guided by compassion. She soon discovered a beautiful deer with shimmering antlers, tangled in vines. Elara gently untangled the vines, whispering soothing words to calm the frightened creature. "Thank you, kind soul," the deer said, its eyes full of gratitude. "You have a pure heart. Here is a magical leaf that will help you with the final task." The leaf sparkled with a soft, emerald glow. Elara and Lumina continued their journey to a towering mountain, where a small, enchanted cave awaited. "The final task," Lumina explained, "is to light the lantern inside the cave. It will reveal the treasure of the heart of the grove." Elara entered the cave, which was dark and mysterious. She used the magical leaf, which glowed brightly, to light the lantern. As the lantern's light spread, the cave revealed a hidden chamber filled with dazzling treasures in a large, radiant crystal at its center. As Elara approached the crystal, it began to speak. "You have completed the tasks with great courage, wisdom, and kindness. The heart of the grove has chosen to reward you." The crystal's light enveloped Elara, and a sense of peace and joy filled her heart. She felt a magical power flow through her, and she knew that she had gained a deep connection to the Whispering Forest. When Elara returned to Fernwood, she found that the village had been touched by the magic of the grove. The fields were lush, the streams sparkled even brighter, and a sense of harmony pervaded the land. From that day on, Elara was known as the guardian of the grove. She continued to care for the forest, and her kindness and bravery were remembered in the tales told by the villagers for generations to come. And so, the Enchanted Grove remained a place of wonder, where magic thrived and the spirit of adventure lived on, inspiring all who dared to seek its secrets. The Clockmaker's secret. In a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, there was a clockmaker named Tobias. His shop, filled with the soft ticking of clocks and the gentle hum of gears, was renowned for its intricate timepieces. But hidden among the many clocks was a special one, known only to Tobias, the timekeeper's clock. The timekeeper's clock was a masterpiece, with delicate engravings and a face that seemed to shimmer with a golden light. Tobias kept it hidden from view, knowing its magic was more than just mechanical. It was said that the clock could control time itself, but only for someone with a true heart and noble purpose. A visitor from afar one day, a young woman named Amelia arrived in the village. She was a wanderer who had traveled from a distant land, searching for something she could not quite name. Amelia was drawn to Tobias's shop by an inexplicable feeling, as if the clocks themselves were calling to her. Tobias greeted her warmly and, sensing her deep curiosity and kindness, decided to show her the timekeeper's clock. Amelia's eyes widened as she saw the clock's golden face. "What is this clock story?" she asked. Tobias smiled gently. "This is the timekeeper's clock. It holds the power to control time, but only for those who seek to make the world a better place. It has been hidden away for many years, waiting for someone with a pure heart to come along." The timekeeper's challenge. Amelia felt a surge of hope and determination. She had heard tales of a land plagued by eternal night, where the sun had not risen for years. The people there were suffering, and she wanted to help. Tobias, seeing the resolve in her eyes, gave her a small key. "This key will unlock the timekeeper's clock," Tobias explained. "But remember, time is a delicate thing. Use its power wisely." Amelia took the key and made her way to the land of eternal night. As she traveled, she could feel the weight of the darkness pressing in around her. The once beautiful land was now a shadow of its former self, with wilting trees and silent fields. Unlocking the magic at the heart of the land was a grand clock tower, its hands frozen in time. Amelia approached the tower and used the key to unlock the timekeeper's clock, which she had brought with her. The clock's golden face began to glow softly, and the hands started to move. As the hands ticked forward, a magical light spread across the land. The darkness began to recede, and the first rays of dawn broke through the sky. The land, once shrouded in night, was bathed in the warm, golden light of sunrise. Flowers bloomed, and the fields came alive with vibrant colors. The people of the land emerged from their homes, their faces filled with wonder and joy. They gathered around Amelia, thanking her for bringing back the light. She explained that it was the timekeeper's clock that had restored the sun, and that she had only been its messenger. The gift of time. The villagers celebrated the return of day, and Amelia was honored for her bravery and kindness. The timekeeper's clock, having fulfilled its purpose, began to dim. But before it faded completely, it bestowed a final gift upon Amelia, a small hourglass filled with sparkling sand. This hourglass will allow you to return to this land whenever it is needed, Tobias had said. And remember, the true power of time lies not in controlling it, but in using it to help others. With the hourglass in hand, Amelia bid farewell to the villagers and returned to her own land. She continued her travels, using her newfound wisdom and the hourglass's magic to aid those in need and spread light wherever she went. The legacy of the timekeeper's clock. Tobias's shop became a place of legend, with many seeking the wisdom of the timekeeper's clock. Though the clock itself remained hidden, its story inspired countless others to use their time and talents for the greater good. Amelia's tale was told far and wide, reminding people that time, like any gift, is most valuable when used to bring hope and joy to others. The land of eternal night was transformed into a place of perpetual day, a testament to the power of kindness and the magic of the timekeeper's clock. And so, the legend of the timekeeper's clock lived on, a shining example of how even the smallest actions can have a profound impact on the world. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by rolling hills and blooming meadows, there was a hidden garden known only to a few. This garden, known as the Enchanted Garden, was said to be filled with magical flowers that had the power to grant wishes. It was protected by a wise old fairy named Seraphina, who tended to the garden's wonders with great care. In a nearby village lived a young girl named Alina. Alina was kind and gentle, with a deep love for nature. She often dreamed of finding the enchanted garden, but it was said that only those with a true heart and a noble wish could enter. One day, as Alina was wandering through the forest collecting wildflowers, she stumbled upon a beautiful, silver key half buried in the soft earth. The key shimmered in the sunlight, and Alina felt a sense of wonder as she picked it up. As she examined the key, a soft voice whispered through the trees, "That key will lead you to the enchanted garden. But to enter, you must first prove your heart is true." Excited by the discovery, Alina followed the voice, which guided her deeper into the forest. After a while, she reached a hidden door covered in ivy and moss. With a trembling hand, Alina inserted the silver key into the lock and turned it. The door creaked open to reveal a breathtaking garden bathed in moonlight. The enchanted garden was more magnificent than Alina had ever imagined. Flowers of every color and shape glowed softly, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming roses. At the center of the garden stood a single, moonlit rose on a pedestal. Its petals shimmered like silver, and its fragrance was enchanting. As Alina approached the rose, Seraphina, the wise old fairy, appeared in a swirl of sparkling light. "Welcome, Alina," Seraphina said with a warm smile. "You have shown great courage and kindness to find this place. What is your wish?" Alina thought carefully. She had always wanted to help her village, which had recently suffered from a long drought. The crops were failing, and the villagers were worried. With a determined heart, Alina said, "I wish for my village to have plenty of water and fertile land, so the crops can grow and the villagers can thrive." Seraphina nodded, her eyes twinkling with approval. Your wish is noble and selfless. To grant it, we must first ask for the moon's blessing." With a wave of her wand, Seraphina summoned a gentle, glowing mist that surrounded the moonlit rose. The rose's petals opened, revealing a crystal at its center. The crystal began to glow brightly, and a soft, melodic hum filled the air. Alina watched in awe as the crystal's light grew stronger. The mist swirled around the garden, and the petals of the moonlit rose started to drift away like falling stars. The fairy's magic touched every corner of the garden, and the energy of the wish began to spread. "Now, we must send the magic to your village," Seraphina explained. "Hold the rose tightly and think of your village with all your heart." Alina carefully took the moonlit rose in her hands and closed her eyes. She imagined the fields filled with golden crops, the villagers smiling and working together, and the clear, flowing streams that would bring life to the land. As she focused on her wish, a brilliant beam of light shot from the rose, piercing the night sky. The light traveled across the land, reaching Alina's village. When the light touched the village, the skies opened up, and rain began to fall gently upon the parched earth. The fields soaked up the water, and the streams began to flow once more. When Alina returned to her village, she was greeted with cheers and tears of joy. The once dry fields were now lush and green, and the villagers rejoiced at the return of their water supply. The village was thriving, and Alina's selfless wish had brought hope and prosperity to everyone. Alina never forgot the enchanted garden and the moonlit rose that had made her wish come true. She continued to care for her village with the same kindness and love she had shown in her wish. And every night, she would look up at the moon, knowing that the magic of the enchanted garden was watching over her. As for the enchanted garden, it remained a place of wonder, waiting for the next kind-hearted soul to discover its secrets and make a wish with a true heart. And so, under the moonlit sky, Alina and her village lived happily ever after, their dreams blooming as brightly as the magical flowers in the enchanted garden. The end. Once upon a time, in the heart of a lush and ancient forest, there lay a hidden village known as Emberwood. This village was special for its enchanted lanterns that glowed with a warm, golden light every night. The lanterns were said to be gifts from the forest spirits, meant to guide and protect the villagers through the darkness. In Emberwood lived a brave and kind-hearted girl named Freya. Freya had a special connection with the forest and often ventured deep into its mystical depths. One day, as she was foraging for herbs near an old oak tree, she discovered a strange, intricately carved wooden box hidden beneath the roots. The box had a faded inscription, "To find what is lost, seek the heart of the forest." Freya was intrigued. She took the box home and showed it to her grandmother, Elara, who was the village's wise elder. Elara's eyes widened in recognition. "This box belonged to the forest spirit queen," she explained. "It said that it holds the key to restoring the forest spirit's lost heart." Freya was determined to uncover the mystery. That night, as the lanterns glowed softly in Emberwood, she set out on a quest to find the heart of the forest. Armed with a map her grandmother had given her and guided by the gentle light of the lanterns, Freya ventured into the heart of the enchanted forest. The forest was alive with soft whispers and gentle rustlings. Freya followed the map, which led her to a majestic waterfall cascading into a crystal-clear pool. In the moonlight, the water shimmered with an ethereal glow. As Freya approached the pool, a graceful, shimmering figure emerged from the water. It was the water nymph. The nymph spoke softly, "To find the forest spirit's heart, you must first prove your courage. Retrieve the moonstone from the cave behind the waterfall. It is guarded by the Echo Serpent, a creature of the deepest shadows." Freya accepted the challenge and carefully made her way behind the waterfall into a dark, echoing cave. The moonstone, a radiant gem pulsing with a soft blue light, was perched on a pedestal at the cave center. As she reached for it, the Echo Serpent slithered out of the shadows, its eyes glowing with a faint, eerie light. The serpent hissed, "Only those who face their fears may take the moonstone." Freya took a deep breath and faced the serpent. "I am not afraid," she declared, "for I seek to restore what is lost and protect the forest." The Echo Serpent, sensing the sincerity in her heart, allowed her to take the moonstone. With the gem in hand, Freya returned to the water nymph, who guided her further into the forest. The map led Freya to an ancient, enchanted grove where the trees seemed to whisper ancient secrets. At the center of the grove was a grand, hollow tree with a gnarled trunk and glowing runes. Freya approached the tree, and the moonstone's light revealed a hidden door. Inside the hollow tree, Freya found a mystical heart-shaped crystal pulsating with a faint, golden light. The crystal was surrounded by withered leaves and dark vines. As Freya touched the crystal, a voice echoed through the grove. "You have proven your bravery and pure heart," the voice said. "Restore the heart of the forest and bring light to the land." Freya placed the moonstone next to the crystal, and a wave of golden light surged through the grove. The vines withered, the leaves revived, and the grove was bathed in a warm, golden glow. The heart-shaped crystal began to pulse with vibrant energy, and the forest was filled with renewed magic. The forest spirit queen appeared, a radiant figure of light and grace. "You have restored the heart of the forest," she said. "Your courage and kindness have saved our realm." Freya returned to Emberwood, where the lanterns glowed brighter than ever. The village celebrated her bravery with a grand feast, and the story of her quest became a cherished tale. From that day on, the forest thrived under the protection of the restored heart, and the lanterns of Emberwood shone with a magical light that guided and protected the villagers. And so, Freya's bravery and the magic of the enchanted forest lived on, and the village of Emberwood flourished happily ever after. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between rolling green hills and sparkling rivers, there was a village called Starhaven. Starhaven was known for its night skies, which were filled with countless twinkling stars. The villagers believed that their stars were special, each one granting a wish to those who believed. In the heart of Starhaven stood an ancient tower, the home of the Starkeeper, an elderly man named Eldrick. Eldrick was a wise and kind-hearted soul who spent his nights caring for the stars. He polished the stars with his magic cloth, making sure they shone brightly for all to see. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, a young girl named Lila came to the tower. She was known for her curiosity and bravery. Lila had always wondered how the stars were cared for and if the tales of their magical wishes were true. "Eldrick," she called as she approached the tower, "I've heard so much about the stars. Can you tell me their secret?" Eldrick smiled warmly. "Ah, Lila, the stars are indeed magical. But their true power lies in belief and kindness." Lila's eyes widened. "Can I help you with the stars tonight?" Eldrick considered this for a moment. "Very well, but remember, the stars have their own way of revealing their magic. Follow my lead." They climbed the winding stairs of the tower to the very top, where Eldrick had a large telescope. Through the telescope, Lila saw the stars up close, their light shimmering like diamonds. "Each star," Eldrick explained, "has a tale. They watch over us, granting wishes to those with pure hearts." As Lila looked through the telescope, she noticed one star that seemed to flicker more brightly than the others. "What about that star?" she asked. Eldrick's eyes twinkled. "That is the Wish Star. It is said to grant a special wish to anyone who can truly discover its secret." Lila was intrigued. "How can I discover its secret?" Eldrick handed her a small, silver key. "This key can unlock a secret chamber within the tower. There, you might find what you seek." With excitement, Lila hurried to the hidden door within the tower. She unlocked it with the silver key and entered a dimly lit room. Inside, there was an old, dusty book resting on a pedestal. She opened the book, revealing pages filled with mysterious symbols and drawings. As Lila examined the book, a gentle voice spoke. "Welcome, Seeker. To unlock the Wish Star's true power, you must understand the essence of wishes." The voice belonged to an ethereal figure that appeared from the book, a guardian of the stars named Seraphina. She glowed with a soft, celestial light. "To unlock the Wish Star's power," Seraphina said, "you must first make a wish of your own. But remember, it must be a selfless wish, one that helps others." Lila thought long and hard. She remembered the villagers in Starhaven, who had always been kind and caring. They had helped her and her family through many challenges. She realized that her wish was not for herself, but for the well-being of her village. With a deep breath, Lila made her wish aloud. I wish for the prosperity and happiness of Starhaven and its people. The room filled with a brilliant light, and Seraphina smiled. You have made a wish of great virtue. The wish star's magic will now shine brighter, and its light will bring joy and prosperity to Starhaven. Lila returned to Eldrick with a heart full of joy. The wish star's secret is to wish for the good of others. Eldrick nodded approvingly. You have learned well. The true magic of the stars lies not in their light, but in the light we bring to others. As the night continued, Lila and Eldrick watched the stars together. The wish star gleamed more brightly than ever, casting a warm glow over Starhaven. The village thrived with newfound hope and happiness, thanks to Lila's selfless wish. From that night on, Lila became known as the Guardian of Wishes, and she continued to spread kindness and joy throughout Starhaven. Eldrick and the stars watched over her, knowing that the magic of the stars was alive and well in the hearts of those who believed. And so, in the heart of Starhaven, where the stars always shone brightly, Lila's story was told for generations to come. It was a tale of kindness, selflessness, and the true magic of wishes, reminding everyone that sometimes, the brightest stars are those that shine from within. Once upon a time, in a charming village named Larkspur, nestled between rolling hills and lush meadows, there was a magical meadow that only appeared under the light of the full moon. The meadow was known for its enchanting beauty, with flowers that glowed softly in a gentle, melodious breeze that carried secrets whispered by the wind. The villagers of Larkspur had always marveled at the moonlit meadow, but they believed it was merely a beautiful illusion. Only one person believed otherwise, a young girl named Elara. Elara was known for her adventurous spirit and her deep love for nature. She spent her days exploring the forests and meadows surrounding the village, always longing to uncover the secrets of the moonlit meadow. One evening, as the full moon began to rise, Elara decided to venture into the meadow, determined to discover its true magic. She waited patiently as the moonlight bathed the meadow in its silvery glow. As the moon reached its zenith, the meadow began to shimmer and take shape before her eyes. Elara stepped into the meadow, her heart racing with excitement. The flowers glowed with a soft, ethereal light, and the air was filled with a sweet, calming fragrance. She wandered through the meadow, marveling at its beauty, until she came upon a large, ancient oak tree at the center. The oak tree had a hollow at its base, and in the hollow was a small, intricately carved box. The box was adorned with delicate patterns of stars and moons, and it seemed to pulse with a gentle energy. Elara felt a sense of awe and curiosity as she carefully opened the box. Inside the box was a golden key and a note written in elegant script, to reveal the meadow's secret true. 3 tasks must be done by you. Find the star that guides the night. Uncover the path to hidden light. And sing the song the moon imparts. Only then will you unlock the heart. Elara knew that these tasks would be challenging, but her determination was unwavering. She set off to complete the tasks, guided by the moon's light and her own courage. Task 1. Find the star that guides the night. The first task led Elara to a secluded hilltop where she could see the night sky clearly. She searched the heavens for the guiding star mentioned in the note. After a long search, she noticed a star with a unique, shimmering hue, slightly different from the others. Elara realized that this star was guiding her towards her next destination. She made a mental note of its position in the sky and followed its direction. Task 2. Uncover the path to hidden light. Following the star's guidance, Elara arrived at the edge of a dense forest. The path was obscured by thick foliage, but Elara noticed a faint, glowing trail that seemed to lead deeper into the woods. She followed the trail, which became brighter and more defined as she ventured further. The path led her to a clearing where a large, glowing stone stood at its center. The stone was inscribed with symbols that matched those on the box. Elara touched the stone, and a hidden passage opened beneath it, leading her to her next challenge. Task 3. sing the song the moon imparts. The passage led Elara to a small, serene pond surrounded by softly glowing flowers. At the pond's edge, she saw an old, weathered lute. The lute seemed to hum with a gentle melody. Elara picked up the lute and began to play, drawing inspiration from the moon's light and the magical atmosphere of the meadow. As she played, she sang a song of hope, wonder, and love, her voice carrying the melody into the night. As Elara sang, the flowers around the pond began to glow more brightly, and the water shimmered with a soft, golden light. The pond's surface rippled, revealing an ornate chest submerged beneath the water. Elara retrieved the chest, her heart filled with anticipation. With the chest in hand, Elara returned to the oak tree in the meadow. She placed the chest on the ground and used the golden key to unlock it. Inside the chest was a glowing orb, pulsating with a warm, inviting light. The orb radiated a sense of peace and magic. And as Elara held it, she felt a deep connection to the meadow and its enchantment. As the orb's light touched the meadow, the flowers glowed even more brightly, and the entire meadow seemed to come alive with a vibrant, harmonious energy. The secret of the moonlit meadow was revealed. It was a place where the magic of the night and the light of the moon combined to create a sanctuary of beauty and wonder. Elara's bravery and curiosity had unlocked the meadow's heart, and she was greeted with a gentle breeze that whispered its gratitude. The meadow's magic would now be shared with all who visited, bringing peace and joy to the village of Larkspur. From that night on, the villagers marveled at the meadow's renewed beauty and the secrets it held. Elara's story became a cherished legend, and the moonlit meadow was celebrated as a symbol of the magic that can be found when one dares to follow their heart and uncover the hidden wonders of the world.